Never at Luigi. I'll drop by soon enough. I misread that. That makes more sense. Alright, puzzles. Here's what we learned last time on Mario. So we'll go through the current state of my understanding of this puzzle and then move on to phase 2. So first off, I need this cape. It's a special red cape, so it does fancy things. We'll use this cape to come around here and push this button. Push this button once. We then whip this up here, because we have these convenient porous blocks, to bring the fire flower all the way to the top. Once we've done that, we go up. Now, with the fire flower in hand, we attack these blocks. Don't grab the mushroom. That's for later. Just gotta be sure on that front. And even more importantly, take out these blocks so that I can hurt Mario. Because I need to be small to go back through this hole. Now, I know what to do with the last phase, I think. It involves scaring Yoshi with a block. But this phase, I think I've figured out. We'll see if I'm right, though. Here's the idea. I grab this. Nope, that didn't work. Alright, now we have to figure out how to get this power-up with a Yoshi. That's the only thing that at this point that matters. Yep, it's this again. Anyway, sleep well, Daizo, just in case I forget to say that later. Alright, so let's get it into the state where we can do the Yoshi thing. What if do I get a little more distance on Yoshi tongues if I hold down when I press Y? Ow. So, now is the part where we have to think. How do we move one of these capes with a Yoshi? Because I need a cape. The cape is non-negotiable. I need to get this cape through this hole. The furthest distance I can drag that seems too short. I'm certain the Yoshi has to do with getting this particular power-up. Like, otherwise this area makes no sense. Because, like, I think the plan is you go here, you get the cape, and you destroy the Yoshi on the way down. So that there's only one Yoshi in the level, and that's the one that spawns on the left. I could show off the other half of the plan, but it wouldn't do me much good at this point, because I'd have to die anyway. Yeah, maybe I'll show off the other half of the plan anyway. So the other half of the plan is basically this. Once we have the cape, and getting the cape is still the part that's weirding me out. What we'll do is we'll use the power of cape to kind of whip the mushroom to this box here. And we'll need to catch it after the death blocks. Using those powers, we'll spin jump one of those things and destroy some of those blocks, which we need to destroy. Subsequently, we then loop around again and pick up this Yoshi. And the most important mechanic we discovered last time is you can do this. You can spook the Yoshi by summoning a block, which, as far as I know, is used nowhere else in this hack. So that's where I'm at. I need to figure out a way to move a cape about 2 blocks to the left. So that's the question. And of course, if you have any brilliant ideas, anyone out there, feel free to chime in on this, because I have spent enough time in this puzzle level. Another thought I had is maybe I could... No, that required getting the block thing too early. I have to get the block thing, like, last minute. Because, like, if I could spook the Yoshi, I could move things on Yoshi's tongue and drop them if I can spook the Yoshi while his tongue is out. That didn't help Pat. But I'm absolutely certain it has something to do with collecting that while falling through there. Because that's the only way that part of the puzzle makes any sense. I forgot to hit the block. Otherwise, this puzzle just has weird pieces remaining. guess... Oh, wait, I can't even test the theory when I'm coming from this direction because we have the power-up filter right here. And I can't get back up that way. I don't have the height. Not that I think it would help. There's not enough time. Like, I can get about 1/2 block backwards. That's just not enough time. I do really want to solve this, though. Oh, I need to die. What am I doing? Oh, and then there's another bit that's important. I guess I forgot to mention is that once I get the block thing to scare Yoshi, I also need to get hit. So I can get the Yoshi into this area, and I have to catch him before he hits this wall here and explodes. And I also need to be small and carrying a block so I can come down here and hit something with it. Found a pic of me, left it in Discord. Curious. I love that bit. Where Charlie's trying to figure out about this guy who doesn't exist, and there's the man in the trench coat who's helped him out with his investigation who doesn't exist. And of course, they've already been fired. I've not seen that much It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But the parts I've seen I have enjoyed. Mostly the Charlie McDennis, The Game of Games. Okay. One of my other working theories was that I could whip the cape forward. But capes don't work that way when they're spawning statically on the ground. You can't really move them. Or can you? Let's test out a theory. No, you cannot move a cape that's statically on the ground. Not even seen the show, but you're a meme lord. It's true. I don't remember why I ended up wanting to watch that specific episode. It was a while ago. I think I was sick or something, and I just needed something to watch, so I bought that one episode off of Amazon. Charlie McDennis is a really interesting game concept, but I don't think I'd ever want to play it. In part because it requires drinking an egregious amount of alcohol, even before you get to the third round, which is hard liquor. And it starts wine. Starting wine just seems like a bad idea. Starting beer seems like a bad idea too, but starting wine seems like a worse idea. Like, the premise is an awful lot of times when the losers, there's individual challenges, it's a team game, and the team that succeeds will get a point, and the team that fails will usually have to drink, and there's a million rules you can fail at to have to drink. And in the second round, the other team counts. So if you have to drink for 5 seconds, it's as slow as they want it. It's just a really bad idea. There's a mechanic I'm missing here. What is it? What happens if I eat something and then get off the Yoshi? Nothing important. Maybe I could... Let's try it anyway, I guess Alright, it still triggers it, but you can get off the Yoshi before it happens. That's interesting, but I don't think relevant. Like, I'm just... What could I be missing as the last mechanic for this? Because, like, I have an entire set of moves after I get that cape. So the question is my assumption about getting that cape completely wrong? Or is there another way? Like, everything about this puzzle, assuming, it's elegantly made, which I'm still assuming, which is, I think, a reasonable assumption given how the rest of the hack is, makes me think there has to be a way to get that on a second lap or on the first lap. There has to be a way to get that cape in a position where I'll be able to do something with it. Like, this is clearly the right first move. Just hovering helped me. I can hover, and that lets me put the Yoshi in another position for later if I want to. That's interesting, but I could have done that with the Yoshi anyway. Like, spawning this Yoshi now doesn't help me, but doesn't really hurt me. That does nothing. Like... Debating if I want to look into the hint room, at least to narrow down the ideas. Like I said, if anyone has ideas, feel free to shout them out. Because I'm actually pretty stuck. Like, I thought I had the idea with the Yoshi tongue thing. I do not have the idea with the Yoshi tongue thing. I'm looking at this now, and like, the only other thing I can think of is I want to kick that mushroom around, but even then, when I did that, it wasn't useful. Like, I tried to come up with some cheese, I could not cheese it well enough. Could check the hints. That's probably what I'm going to do soon enough. I've spent a long time in here. I don't like looking at hints, but I think also there's a possibility that there's just a mechanic I'm unaware of that we didn't use somewhere, involving how you do things with Yoshis. So, that's your idea. Alright, we'll check the first hint room. We'll check the first hint. See what it says. We won't go beyond that yet. See if it confirms or denies my suspicions about the first set of moves. Which at least helps me narrow the range of possibilities down. Win. Yeah, I figured that part out. 1 and 4. 1 and 4? So that means the mushroom comes later. That's interesting. I'm not sure that helps me get unstuck. Yoshi tongue. Oh. So the order here that I'm doing it isn't right. Maybe? Because, yeah, that would leave those blocks for later. Which is interesting. So, yeah, I guess the way I was acquiring it was incorrect. So the first step is this. Use the Yoshi. Maybe this is the first step. I might go look again, but at least that puts me in cape state. But it denies me a Yoshi later, which is a problem. I have to do this. I have to do this now if I want to commit anyway. Because I won't be able to get back around the loop. But changing the first step definitely changes things. Because I was using that mushroom differently. How does it change things? Like, basically the Yoshi and the mushroom itself were two options. And you don't have to tongue the power-up. If you're eating it. Like, if you're getting it that way. So maybe there's something else I'm missing here. And, like, I can't do anything with this, assuming this is the third power-up. Then I'm stuck, because I'll depower as I go through here. So that didn't really defray the space for me. I'm going to look at that Yoshi hint one more time. Like, why would I do that as my first move? Compared to the mushroom. Like, I can see why you wanted to have the mushroom later, but that I figured out. That I was close on. This. What? If you're tonguing something when you hit a box, Yoshi drops it. Is that what it was telling me? If you're tonguing something and Yoshi despawns, it moves it. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Yoshi tongues it and despawns, it moves it, and turns it, it makes it drop. Okay, that... I understand it. I understand it now. Now I'm going to try it with my cycle and see if it works. No. No, it doesn't. Okay, I see why the order matters here. Okay, so here's why. Here's the important bit. You have to get this one individually because you need it that way. When I come back, I'm going to need the mushroom so that I can take a hit. Ow. I was making progress. How you doing, Pep Peps? No worries. Really, really no worries. Oh, right, that's why I need to turn that on. Gotta turn on safe jar. Good explanation. Yes. So I'll need to take a hit when the Yoshi despawns over here. That's the last bit I was missing. Yep, that is totally the hint I needed. Yeah, I didn't think of that. My guess was just delaying it, but yeah, that's a smarter move. So grab that, park my Yoshi in the Yoshi parking zone. I've been explaining the whole time because I've just been trying to work my way through this puzzle. That last mechanic is definitely one I would not have guessed. So I don't feel too bad about the hint, but I'm also like, I wish I'd figured it out. C'est la vie. I figured out most of the important parts. I can feel okay about that, I guess. But we'll see if I can actually execute it, because I think I understand the rest. Because I had two lengthy sections figured out. Then you broke my explanation. That you did. You did, in fact, break my explanation. Okay. So here is the plan. And it's trickier. Oh. Maybe I shouldn't have parked my Yoshi over there. Alright, get the big. And then do a dumb. Okay, that didn't help. Alright, let's practice that move next time. We're just going to practice it this time without any expectation. And that's why that block is there, to prevent you from doing this the first time, I guess. From moving it early. So let's do this in order. Get that. Actually, I can't even practice it because of the block in the way. So I'd have to practice it this way, with the block off, which makes it a bit easier. So let's just go around the loop. Let's just go around the loop. Alright, grab this one. It's free. Gonna park my Yoshi. It'll respawn. It's fine. See? They respawned. I'm very curious what the very last level of this looks like. Very curious. I believe I read somewhere that it was Kaizo inspired. We'll see how difficult it is, or if it has like 1,800 rooms. I did beat the 6-room castle last time. And by 6-room castle, I mean you had to beat all 6 rooms in the castle. There's still a little bit of, like, stuff to test even after I beat it, but I'm not going to do it on stream because it's really boring. Just need to make sure some math works, and there's a couple things I had to double check. I wonder if this track is from... Oh, no, I think I looked it up. I think I saw his spreadsheet. It's not from Chrono Cross. But it feels kind of like it could have been from Chrono Cross. Okay. Embiggen. Stand right here with the Yoshi. Okay. Perfect. I got the second cape, which means we can do the next lap, part of the lap. Which is still going to require a certain amount of timing, so I suspect I'm still going to fuck this up a couple times. But at least this thing respawns if I get far enough away from it, so as long as I don't do too badly. Right, I still have to take it over this. Oh, I might have made that. It's too late now, though. Kind of tempted to change the character. Just for the hell of it. Maybe demo, since we played a little bit of demo stuff today. I'm testing Daizo's contribution to yet another Super Mario World thing. And another thing! Just cannot not think of Jackie Chan Adventures. I don't remember much about that show. Oh, I destroyed the Yoshi, so I fucked up my loop. Except for the uncle and that Jackie Chan was in it. Well, I guess there was like a niece or something. I know everyone was just doing like kung fu fighting things. But I vaguely remember. Maybe there was like a live action part at the end of some of the episodes. One of my siblings really liked the show. I was a bit out of the age range by that point. I don't know what I'll do with myself after I finish this. Like, what if it actually isn't that bad? What if the last level is just literally like, it just plays kazoo noises at you. It's like, lol, kazoo inspired. And the level just ends. Like, that's a thing that could happen. It's unlikely, but it could. Almost got plenty of time budgeted for tonight. I'm not in any big hurry today. It's only one. I got started on time today, which is good. Some days I don't. But today was pretty easy. Been really on time the last few Thursdays, actually. Just in part because Snyder comes over, and then we do our puzzle thing, and then we move along. Oh, right! There was a fun puzzle! So, one of the puzzles in Colossal Cave Adventure involves a troll. And you have to pay off the trolls. You have to pay the troll toll so you can go across the bridge to go to a place. So we did that. And on the other side, we found a bear. An actual bear. Not this isn't a euphemism. It was an actual bear. And there's some rigmarole you have to do to release the bear. And so we eventually figured that part out. And we start walking back to the bridge because we think we're done with that area. It's not a very big area. And as we get to that part of the bridge, we realize the bear is following us. And we're like, oh cool, we got a bear companion. I'm like, oh, that might be how you get across without paying a toll. Is you use the bear to scare the troll. And in fact, that's what happened. The bear scares the troll. You don't have to pay him an additional toll, which is nice. On my first lap, I spaced. But here's what happened. Then you walk across the bridge, and the bear follows you. And then, nuts. The bridge collapses. And apparently we got an achievement for that. We got an achievement for being dumb enough to do that. So, I was very amused. Guess we should have thought better. Rigmaroles are rigmaroles. I mean, it's an old school adventure game. There's a certain amount of rigmarole to be expected. There's also just some weird mechanics. There's a pirate that kind of follows you around occasionally and steals all your shit and puts it in a maze, which was really annoying. Happened to us right at the end. So we only lost like one treasure to him, but we'll have to go back through the maze to find it. A little bit of a drag, not the end of the world. The other thing is there's random encounters, which is something you generally don't have in a puzzle game. There are dwarves who are just mad at you. And also don't like your attempts to bribe them off. We found a copy of Spelunker's Daily, and they didn't want that. It just made them angrier. We also offered them some nice meat, and they're like, no, dwarves only eat coal. To which I'm like, what? Dwarves only eat coal. And I've never, ever, ever, ever heard of any fantasy setting where dwarves eat coal, of all things. And coal just doesn't have that much nutritional density. Like, it's coal. If you've never actually handled raw coal, it's pretty light stuff. At least the higher quality stuff is. Like, charcoal isn't far from how regular coal is. That works. So, that was the weirdest part of that so far. That and just, we had to break out some pen and paper to do some old school mapping, because we didn't want to solve a puzzle a different way. We could have done the same mapping with a different solution, but we found a decent way to do it. The game has a nice auto map feature, which is definitely bringing it up to the 21st century, because an awful lot of old school adventure games rely upon you going and mapping out every single little bit. And there are ways we could have done one of the mazes without it, which we weren't interested in. And this other maze, you had to sit down and write pen and paper because of its graphy nature. So, graphic nature. You'll eat it with a side of coleslaw, probably a side of iron. How you doing, Catfalls? Where do you think the steel comes from? Well, if nothing else, I do know that those dwarves must be doing coke. The gray solid. But yeah, it's really weird. So far, like, almost all of the dwarves who aren't trying to kick our asses, we run into them and they just immediately run away, except for the dwarven woman who is cooking and knitting. But we can't actually get anywhere near her because there's furniture in the way. I'd say it's actually pretty decent for what it is. The cost is a little bit high. I think it initially released for like $40 or something, and they lowered the price, I think, to $25 after people were like, no, you can't get away with that in this day and age, especially with a Unity game of this sort. So we've been entertained for a few hours. I think money well spent, all things considered. If you're a fan of adventure games, of course. And if you've never actually experienced the original Colossal Cave Adventure, I think it's an interesting way too. Probably with a lot less frustration than the original. Vegan dwarves eat kohlrabi. Slaw's good. Kohlrabi? What am I missing with that one? Kohlrabi. I hope the joke's kosher. Passover's coming. Oh, Ow. I went too late. Having to get hit twice there is hard timing-wise, but I think there's enough leniency that I just need to wait for the sound. Actually, you know, once I get hit, I'll go. Kohlrabi, also known as German turnip or turnip cabbage. You know what? That's a new one for me. I was unaware of that particular vegetable's existence. There's an awful lot of vegetables I do not know about, as it turns out. I do like cabbage, though. Stop and wonder why I use one word to describe three wildly different things. Cabbage, coal, coke. I mean, we use an awful lot of... There's an awful lot of just vocabulary, synonym stuff in general. There's a lot of words you can just describe anything. Even English has a lot of different words for snow. Despite all of the, like, statements otherwise. Got flurries, blizzards, nor'easters, flakes. There's probably more, and I'm not thinking of them because it doesn't matter too much. To my argument, I've already come up with 4. There's plenty of other snow things. Coke? I mean, part of it comes from the fact that, like, several of these things derive from other things that sound like Coke. That's really it. It wouldn't surprise me, I'm actually fairly certain Coke came first, the gray solid, because steel making, I think, predates Coca-Cola, and very likely predates people refining the coca leaf in that way, would be my guess. Can't prove it, of course, but I would guess that. And of course, Coke comes from Coca-Cola comes from the from the cola plant, so that was the original coca in Coca-Cola was actually cocaine, and still is to some extent. They actually still are one of the few groups allowed to medically make that stuff. There's still some coca nut extract. Not coconut extract, but coca nut extract in Coke to this day. Everybody saw that coming. Whereas the gray solid is important for steel making. That's one of the reasons why I expect coal mining won't ever really go away, is that it's probably more costly to make synthetic coke than it is to just mine some. But it's definitely a more reasonable use than power generation in a lot of ways. It requires a lot less of it in the grand scheme of things. It's how they generally get carbon into steel, is via coke. The more you know. And of course, putting carbon in your iron makes for good stuff. Read an interesting article about the history of steel metallurgy like a couple of years ago. Really interesting stuff. They had dated some of it back to like, they were looking at like Damascus steel and other weird, aberrant types of steelcraft. How am I failing this? That weren't common back in the day, and there was a discussion about how I think a specific furnace in India produced much stronger iron materials than others, and part of it had to do with how they were building it, and that they were getting some especially high carbon charcoal into the steel mix, or into the iron when they were forging it, because they were forging it directly on the coals. Whereas cast iron tries to avoid that as much as possible, which is what other places get used a lot more of. The weirdest part, I think, was the learning about the Bessemer process, which is effectively the best way to make sure your carbon is fully integrated into your steel is to do something along the lines of blow air through it. And so he invented a way to blow air through hot steel. And I think it's still more or less in use today. Like, the same stuff more or less applies. An awful lot of furnaces, I don't think, or foundries have upgraded beyond that system. It was a relatively recent addition, I think. But now people probably use like a hybrid process, kind of like how they don't use the that exact process for making ammonia anymore. The Haber-Bosch process has probably had a few upgrades too. Science marches on. Especially in the cool engineering sciences. Chemistry is a cool science. There we go. Okay. Let's try not to flub this. There's still one more timing challenge that's exactly the same that I have to do at the end of this with the Yoshi. You know what I'll do? When I summon that block, I'll do it a little bit closer. No, I'll summon the block on the far edge, and that gives me more time for the Yoshi to run forward. That is a useful idea. I forgot what I was doing for a minute. Run the second lap. Bounce. Boink. Rather peaceful down here. Perfect. Okay, actually, you know what? I don't have to worry so much about the Yoshi running off now, because the Yoshi will run through here, but nothing bad will happen. I got that going for me. Okay, cool. Next phase. Lock. This is the part we've rehearsed a lot less than all of the other ones. But I don't think it's going to be nearly as tricky as I thought. The biggest problem is getting down there with the block intact. Because I think the timing for that might be a little tight. But we'll see. And I guess I actually don't care where the Yoshi is. Oh, hey, that's way better. Okay, I got my Yoshi, and that should be it. I think I'll have solved the puzzle. With any luck. Take our Yoshi on a run. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to cheese that. And that is done. Let's take a look at the rest of the hints, because I'm curious what else it would have told us. The roots of evil. Never give up. They never do. And thank you for the GG. I'd say I'm happy to be out of this level, but we're not out of this level yet. I was close. My bad assumption at the first power-up to get was definitely a problem, but I was close. I had 2 long strings of things correct. So we learned this mechanic. That was useful. You need Big Mario to spin there. Yep. R. Oh, R. It's telling you to do the block thing. Okay. That would reveal the last important puzzle. Okay. I get you. The roots of evil. Never give up. What do we got here? When I hear this song, I get worried. I've played too many hacks where this is like an indication that this next part is going to be really hard. I want to say in Quickie World it's used in one of the harder levels, but I don't remember which. I also kind of wonder where this song is from now. I guess I could look at the spreadsheet and find out fairly easily. I was kind of feeling demo-y. Maybe I'll exit out of the level and get us some demo. Undertale Core, thank you. How did I space on that one? I've beaten Undertale twice. You think I'd remember? But nope. Deltarune still on the docket. I was looking at the list of things. Deltarune might be sooner than expected. Because... Never get the song in specific? Oh, no doubt. I mean, the core area is one I didn't ultimately spend that much time in when you really come down to it. Compared to some other areas of the game, but like none of the areas of the game are particularly large. God, I hate these munchers. Yeah, I don't think I can jump on the spinning munchers with their time windows. But yeah, I was looking at the queue. I have another Desi request. I've got Shadow Man yet to finish, of course. And a couple more things, but then there's a weird, if you can get this working, do this, otherwise do this request. And I'm not certain how well I feel about like doing Rhythm Heaven with a mouse and keyboard. Like, that seems a little weird. I'm not sure that's a great idea. Like, something I'm willing to try, certainly. But... Oh, I hate this jump. I'm not dead. That's cool. Ah. Oh, I'm safe. But yeah, if that doesn't work, if I try and I don't feel it's gonna work well, I'll switch it to it'll be Deltarune, and then I'll have to do Zucatti's other request, which was to do some of the harder genocide-styled fights in Undertale and Deltarune, which is a reasonable request. And he sent me the files for it. Oh, you can jump on that. He sent me the save files for that like forever ago. Mostly Undine and, of course, Sans. But... Jump, jump. Yeah, this is still just the realm of very hard. There's nothing terribly Kaizo in here yet. I was worried. And I probably should still be worried. Genocide route is good, but it isn't too hard. Yeah, I just felt like playing the Genocide route would just, like, leave me a bit sour if that was the last one I did. So I was happy to leave it with just, passive, or neutral and twice in pacifist. But I'm happy to take on a couple fights, just to see what... I might need to brush up on what the hell you do in Undertale. Because it would have been like half a year, possibly a year at that point between plays, but you know. Alright, here we go. That was scary. Ow! If that's the case, you can always finish with Red Fan Game, which is just one fight. I do not know what that is. It would kind of be up to Zuccotti, since it's his request, and that is dependent upon whether or not Rhythm Heaven with a mouse is fun. I really don't know. Like, I guess I could find a way to do it with my computer trackpad, maybe? Synergy works, but it does have a little bit of lag. Like, I've played TF2 with it, but it's not a good idea. The biggest thing in this level is just there's so much blind stuff. Undertale fan game? Ah, okay. Yeah, it makes sense. And apparently there's an awful lot of those things. And the reason I even learned about that is because YouTube recommending me a bunch of Pizza Tower videos, because Pizza Tower is awesome. And one of them was a mod, and it described how... He basically said he made it with the Undertale editor. Because apparently Pizza Tower and Undertale use the same game engine. Which is kind of impressive in some ways. So... But that's what it's called, and that's what it's used for. It's making Undertale fan games and editing Pizza Tower and probably other games, but I don't know what other games use that engine. But I, of course, approve of modding tools in general. So, I'm happy that it exists. Even if it's weirdly named when you consider it works on multiple things. You get it like Lunar Magic started editing, like, I don't know, other games. But there's only ever been one game really made with the SMW engine, so... Though, I think you could be pedantic and say there was the All-Stars plus SMW, which it did work with for a short period of time, I think. This Japanese SMW is kind of different, too. But those are minor in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping I'll be free of major obligations to this hack soon. Would not mind checking out the patched version, doing some spot checks. How am I failing this now? There's also a couple hacks in the queue that would be interesting to play, just ones where I'd be making a lot of progress a lot faster. Like, consider that this video is only going to have 2 level name markers in it, in its entirety. Unless I want to roll, like, individual room ones, which I might if they have this has more than one room. Which I hope it does, because otherwise I'm going to be in for a bad time. Okay, good. That unspawned it. Okay, I wasn't ready. Okay. You'll be careful, or you'll be dead. It happens so often. But yeah, looking forward to some of those things. Just like Final Fantasy III was nice to be able to play a turn-based RPG, because I was kind of feeling that. Monkey Island would be a nice excuse to play, well, point-and-click adventure game, and of course, Deltarune is more Undertale, I think. I presume it's similar in tenor and tone. and gameplay, but I have no proof either way. Having seen absolutely nothing except for that irritating salesman droid. I know there's some sort of robot that's annoying and tries to sell people things. That's the only thing I know about this game. Which is for the best. You know one thing about it, it's knowing that there's an annoying spammy robot. I think this might be one of my least favorite sprites. The fire spitting... Oh, I didn't mean to hit that. Fire spitting mini piranha plant. Amazing. She's not even flying, she's kind of bobbing. He doesn't know how to fly. Similar in many ways. It's fun and charming, though. It's a lot less like Undertale. Okay, how you doing, Silver Fox Flame? We're just talking about the game request queue, because there's still a lot of stuff in there I have to clear out. And that's one of the games in there that's kind of in there twice. It's a dependent request. So, I'll figure that out when I get there. Kind of hoping some of the other requests that I have to do are a little bit shorter than the last couple. I went and tallied it up really quick. Mario 3. Final Fantasy 3 took 30 hours of stream time to beat, more or less. Because I did like 6 streams that were each 5-ish hours long, maybe a little bit longer. Shadow Man's looking to be about the same, too. I know Monkey Islands will probably be a little bit shorter, and I won't be handling it the same way. Those will be shorter streams. Since Cal Rossi is not the kind of person who can spend that sort of time. So I hope he didn't unsub for my really bad joke earlier. I don't expect he did, but... You know what? Well, even then I wouldn't want to use it. In this hack, you get like 2 different kinds of power-ups from getting all the coins. So I could come in here with a cape and have some star space to be able to run over things, but I don't really want to do that, even though the game allows it. Like, it's made pretty clear up front that you shouldn't be doing that if you respect the integrity of the game. And yourself. I've only used it once and it was for moderating purposes, so... In that case, I feel okay, because I use all sorts of cheats for the purposes of testing moderation stuff. Save states surprisingly rarely are used. That's the obstacle I died on last time. My PB. So, okay, without spoiling it too much, how would you say it's different? Or is that too much of a spoiler in and of itself, how Deltarune is different from Undertale? Because I kind of feel that might be spoilery just to ask that question now I think about it. And those are the kind of games you really should go in blind. Or at least as unknowing as possible. Okay. Blind is definitely better? Okay. Reminds me of that bit in Akogari. I was never good at falling off the edge in the ghost house. Took me a long time to learn a strat for that. Okay. Okay. Close. Close. There have been so many blind jumps. Alright, beverage time. Plus, honestly, any kind of thoughts from Undertale carrying over are good to have. Okay. As in, like, oh. Okay. Any good thoughts that I'm having, I guess? Or just in general? Because I did ultimately have a good time. I was reticent at first. It was one of those games where, like, I was aware of the fandom long before the game. And that's a particularly gnarly fandom. There we go. Some very obsessive people. And bad fandom can ruin good things. That's just how it is. It's unfortunate, but it is. Gonna make you see the same things and obviously throwing you off because of them. Oh, okay. Intriguing. That will be interesting to find out more about. Alright. New PB. I didn't need to do that. Like, I feel like most of the time I come to an obstacle that I don't do very well at. It's because I can't see where I'm going. Like, this level has so much falling in it. I think there's something weird aliasing with the munchers down there, but not just the muncher interaction with the stem of the flower. It's nothing important. MLP fan, yeah. I was thinking Homestuck as well. I remember reading some of it and enjoying it, and there was a point where I just said, fuck it, I'm done. Like, I traipsed through all the troll stuff, and then they replaced the entire cast, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just done. But the fandom for that, I had some problems, like people painting themselves gray and ruining, like, hotel bathrooms and stuff. Still really weird. I get the cosplaying is fun. I don't think I'd want to paint my face and my body a color for the purposes of that. I could get doing some, like, makeup if necessary, but no. No painting me. It's a step too far. And it just looks weird. People shouldn't be gray. There's actually a condition that turns people gray where if they drink enough colloidal silver, just something about it. They will no longer look human. They turn kind of bluish gray. It's actually pretty disconcerting. It has no other bad side effects aside from turning your skin that color, so at least they got that going for them. But man, it's a weird-ass side effect. What if any Homestuck fans did that on purpose to achieve their aesthetic permanently? Certainly hope not. It's the kind of thing I could see a kid thinking, yeah, that would be a good idea, without really thinking it all the way through. I think the only really good fan content that came from MLP was Hearts of Iron 4 mod. How bizarre. How bizarre. I know people were modding that into everything. I did have playing on a couple TF2 servers that had, like, pony stuff enabled, and that was weird. But honestly, they were very unserious servers, so it worked very fine in its favor. Checked out a few times, and I think I went back to Toy Fort. Because if you're just going to spend time derping around, you can't beat Toy Fort in terms of unseriousness. It's even more unserious than Dust Bowl. The most unserious of the standard maps. But seriously, Dust Bowl is silly. Almost no one plays Dust Bowl seriously. Especially if the third point is so dumb. Oop. Okay. I'm regressing a little bit. Not happy about that. Alright. Oh, I should check that. Steam's having a sale now, and I probably should see if any of my request games are on sale. Save a few bucks. Would not be a bad idea. I think the only one that's presently on there that's PC is Hat in Time right now, though. That's more at the forefront of my mind because that request changed. One I am looking forward to, too. I've heard really good things about it. And I do like Mario 64 style platformers from time to time, which I think is what it is. Unless I'm terribly wrong, in which case, well, we'll find out. Oh. Getting really good at jumping on those. If nothing else, I've mastered the timing for jumping on those. Can't respond, fair enough. But I'll probably look into it. It seems like the kind of thing where if I can get it on sale, it's probably just a little bit better. Yes, okay. Oh, flying TLDR, gotcha. I'm surprised you're getting any sort of response when you're flying. Hope you're having a good trip flying. Assuming you're using, like, in-flight Wi-Fi. I've had some really good in-flight Wi-Fi, bizarrely enough, and I've had some really shit in-flight Wi-Fi. Sadly, when I had the really shit one is when I had to do work and actually needed Wi-Fi to do the work. When I was flying back, it didn't matter because it was like on a Sunday. But then I could watch YouTube videos, and it was ridiculous. It was so good Wi-Fi. Flying in ED. Europe directly? What did ED stand for? I mean, aside from the obvious one, but that's not a location. Oh, Elite Dangerous, gotcha. I thought you meant in real life. I was like, man, that's dedication. I haven't gone anywhere in a while. I haven't flown anywhere since... It feels like last year. Oh no, yeah, it was last year. I flew a bit around Christmas. That was nice. Almost bugged out because of the carpet replacement at my place, my apartment. But I didn't have to. It turned out to not be so noxious. It's done now, so the worst is over. But if it had been bad a couple weeks ago, I probably would have bugged out to California. Just gotten in my car and gone. Probably would have gotten some tickets too, because I don't think I've renewed my registration in a while. Probably should do that. California still probably bothers pulling people over for expired registration. Washington sure as hell doesn't. 3D platformer, a la 64. Okay. Should be interesting then. Like, you don't see too many modern takes on that anymore. At least I'm not sure. I've been out of, like, new games that aren't weird indie games. And hacks for so long. Like, I can't remember the last time I actually played, like, a AAA game. Oh, that's another one on the list, is Dark Souls. I was going to look up to see if it was on sale, but I already bought it, so... Even mods that had flying cap and triple jump mechanics. Oh, nice! The bright side is I just learned that I won't have to do any triple jumps. Or flying cap. I do not care for flying cap in Mario 64. Last time I did a Mario 64 thing was that Archipelago Rando. And one of my important items, one of my stars was... was it a star? I think it was a key. I forget which thing it was, but it was something important I needed. Was in the flying over the rainbow level. The final and worst of the Cape levels. And I kept falling out because of the control scheme. Whoever put ground pound on, like, push in the left stick was a complete and utter ponce. I'm still baffled by that decision to this day. Like, why in the world would you put that as a default? Like, nobody is that bereft of buttons. There's so many buttons on modern controllers. You don't need to bind that to that. Z is easy, just put on one of the triggers. That's how it should work. But no. That was a silly way to do that part. Kind of wondering if I should just do that in one fell swoop because of the spawning time. That might be a smarter move. Okay. Cool. Alright, switch type of jump. Get ready. Okay, bone. Oh, I was looking at the dry bones! Was so ready for something different. Still, it's technically another PB. Technical PBs are worth something. Even if they're very small. It is, in fact, peanut butter jelly time. I haven't had a peanut butter jelly sandwich in forever. I kind of want one now. Maybe I'll get bread for the next week. Like, I don't generally buy loaves of bread because, like, you kind of got to dedicate yourself to eating a whole friggin' loaf of bread. And there's a lot of good things you can do with bread. Like, you know, make sandwiches. Kind of want to do some grilled cheese and tomato soup while it's still the seasonal thing to do. French toast, one of the best types of toast. Peanut butter jelly sandwich, also pretty tasty. But that being said, it's still a lot of bread. Oh, I can't believe I landed in it. Hoping the next section has less annoying sprites. Assuming there is a next section. Nah, Yogui would break this up. I doubt this is like a one long section thing. Then again, it's the last level of the secret world, so to some extent, the gloves can come off. But, like, it'd be a lot easier if this was actually a Kaizo level, because Kaizo levels generally don't make you be this patient, waiting for things to spawn on cycles. Got more flow to it, usually. There are Kaizo levels, of course, that do this kind of thing, but I think they're not really the popular type of Kaizo to make nowadays. Like, Quickie World has definitely influenced a lot of people's design sensibilities, which is probably for the best. Quickie World and other accessible hacks. Ow. I didn't expect to land up there. Keep finding new and unique ways to die. Okay. Came in early, that's why I went for the bop. I knew I was early. Might have been late there, but it was okay. No! Why am I suddenly getting on that flower? What have I changed in my playstyle? I'm already having problems getting onto that falling platform, so... That also reminds me. In addition to that, so... I was looking this up because I was curious. I remember there being a You're the Man Now dog bit where someone replaced the lead of the song, the boss music for the Sinstral fights in Lufia 2, with Homer Simpson going dough. And it turns out this guy made an awful lot more than just that one. That was the one I remembered. Though I thought it came earlier. But, I don't know, 2006 apparently was about the right time. So, but he also did a bunch of other ones, including the Dark Cloud. And the one that amuses me the most, like the song isn't as good as the Dark Cloud one, or the Sinstro one, to be honest. But the picture for this is amazing, is Homer Simpson is Wily, and it's got the Homer as a bubble attached to one of those big Wily contraptions. It's really well done. Like a really well done little photo. Like, it's not even Photoshop, it's probably like MS Paint, but still, it was a really well done little bit. Touchdown. Don't like Red Cape either. One that works like a red star from the early galaxy. Oh yeah, that's weird. Barely afford food this week. I take flights. I don't know. It's just what people do sometimes. When say that you're on a flight, that's what I assume. Could be a bad assumption, I will admit. Like, if someone says BRB flying, my first assumption is that they are, in fact, on an airplane and not playing, like, Microsoft Flight Sim. Okay. Oh, I hate this. I'm thinking. I think the spot to the left of it is still safe, but I don't think the timing of the jump, so I think I might just try to do it in one fell swoop. Please don't hit me! Ah! No! Oh, I liked my plan until it didn't work. That looked like it might have been a midway thing, too. Context clue you in, though. That's fair. Then there's the Bash quote, BRB Tornado. Oh, I love me a good Bash.org bit. There's one where, like, the guy says, oh, Chinese for dinner. Yay, Peking Dick. And it's like, oh, lol, can you say Bash.org? It's like, okay, fine. If you're gonna do that, here's the ultimate quote. It includes, like, a small fire, and his sister comes in naked and sets a small fire, and then insinuates that he is homosexual because he dislikes the operating system Windows Me, and all this jazz. It's a really ridiculous thing. But I don't blame him for trying. Still think one of my favorite ones on there is the kid who got his entire computer case copper plated and didn't realize the implication of that until after he turned it on. But there's a bunch of... It's a gold mine, honestly. Bash.org remains a good amusing site. And there's a bunch of good short ones too, you know, like the guy's like, I've lost this machine. I can ping it, but I don't know physically where it is, which could be relatable sometimes. Yes, copper is highly conductive, and there's certain parts of your piece of your case that should conduct it, but there's other parts that shouldn't. You do not want your entire case being connected up electrically, I do not believe. You want certain parts to be grounded and certain parts to not be grounded, and so copper plating it kind of removes some of that, is what I understand. Assuming the quote is real, of course. You know, it's bash.org, it could be anything, really. Alright. Got a stew going. Wait for it. There we go. Alright, this part was not hard. Just stand here, wait for the bomb thrower. And then there's this part. Nope. Jump too short. Phone going off? No, I think my leg's just itchy. No, it's not. Good phone. Don't want you going off at 2 a.m. Oh my. Actually got like a bunch of weird calls today. One of them was from my bank letting me know that my banking worked, which was good. I have completed that aspect of my banking. And confirmed on the other side that it all worked out. So, latest price for sliced cheese? No. I mean, everything's gotten hella expensive everywhere, but it could be a lot worse. I'm curious about the price of sliced cheese. I mean, also depending on what kind of cheese. Some cheeses are more expensive than others. There's a lot of different kinds of cheese. Like all the ones in that sketch, where there's actually no cheese, as it turns out. I gotta be doing this a more difficult way than is required. Like, I feel like it's a lot tighter jump. I wonder if I'm supposed to walk on top of it. Like, just assume there's a way to do it. For the Nemec, 2.5 euros now, almost 5. Jeez. Cheese. That is ridiculous. It is too much for cheese. Kind of wonder how much I paid for my last brick from Costco, because whenever I go to Costco, I always buy a big brick of Tillamook cheddar, under the assumption that at some point I will be able to do something with it. And Tillamook cheddar, you know, lasts pretty well. It's a hard cheese. It stays good as long as refrigeration for like up to a year and change. And even after you open it, it stays good for a pretty long time. But thanks for the good luck, TJB. How you doing? Nearing the end of this hack. It's a really good hack. If you like gimmicky levels and stuff. If you're a fan of like Jump or Mice, this would be a good hack to play. But much more difficult than Mice, in parts. And also humongous for the purposes of moderation. There's a lot of parts where like there's forking paths and stuff where I had to do every path as opposed to any path. The RNG power-up section in particular took a long time because of that. Of course, I also, like, got 2 out of 3 of the rooms in, like, the last 2 minutes of that stream, which was fantastic. And then I had to beat them again the next stream. At least one of them. I forget which one I did. Probably the star. I was really good at the star one by the end. So... obligatory Hugh joke. Hugh Jass. It's like my favorite form of that joke is probably the biggest dickest bit from Life of Brian. Let's say Meaning of Life. Meaning of Life didn't have that. Apparently, the extras they had around as Roman soldiers were not told this was how the joke was going to go. And so the grilling of them and them trying not to laugh was 100% legit. Which, respect. Oh, I've made it worse. Have I? I think so. Nope, I have. I'm going to spin jump there instead. I think it's standing. I can't make it all the way over necessarily. And if I spin jump and get lucky, I'll be able to at least maybe proceed. So. But I have no idea how long this level's going to be. But I've done everything else. I found all the moons. I could beat every single door. I still have to go through a bunch of math doors, but I can do that later. I'm probably gonna like make a. I'm probably gonna take that into Mesa and make a save state to make sure those work. Or maybe I'll like force door loads or something to move me back to there. I don't know. I have to come up with an idea to make that be less painful because there's just an awful lot of math. And this is SA1, so I can't save state. Or maybe I'll just like do it while listening to a book or something. It's tedious, but not difficult. Okay. No, not okay. I'll go to Costco again. It's been a while. It's only been a couple months. I'm still rolling in paper products, which is usually why I go to Costco. Is like I run out of toilet paper or paper towels. I think I got a bad batch of paper towels. They smell funny, so I don't want to use them. But I also realized I have an awful lot of other paper towels from the last time I went to Costco, so I don't care that much. I might just throw those out or recycle them or something if they all have that terrible property. Be like Binding of Isaac levels of greed? I do not know enough about Binding of Isaac to get the reference. A friend of mine was really into Binding of Isaac during one of the mystery hunts. That was his I'm taking a break from thinking game. Mine was I Want to Be the Bashi. Turns out that if you play I Want to Be the Bashi, it makes you want to go back to puzzles really quick. Maybe one of these days I'll actually beat Crackdough. Okay. Secret World, Super Secret World, Ultra Secret World, Secret World. Gotcha. This makes sense. I made that a little bit easier on me with that single jump. Still one of the best sets of music in any of those games. Lol, you died. Lol, you died. And of course, every single save point swearing at you. I definitely played in wuss mode. I didn't feel the need to suffer more. The game itself is hard enough already. I don't need to prove my badassness. There we go. Like, the good news is, if I get here, I'm usually not failing early anymore. The bad news is, I still have a really good chance of failing later. Nuts. Like I just said, a good chance of failing later. Might be a beverage break time. I have not had much beverage this stream. Yeah, I think I said I'd take a break from moderating and maybe pull up a third game and try to get that third game request and try to move a little bit quicker on that front. But there's just so much good SMW coming out. It's hard to not want to moderate or just play some levels. And of course, the standard queue has a bunch of crap in it now that I probably should clear out. Like, not crap, but like small things that just need a little bit of time and effort. Like, no lengthy multi-stream stuff. You know, 30 exits of standard, normal, or easy shouldn't take me more than a stream. Like, really shouldn't. If it is, then it's probably not standard easy. Need to follow the secret to immortality? I do not think I know the secret to immortality. I really hope it's not in these nuts. That'd be very disappointing. I used to wait there a beat, and I didn't that time. Do know what I'm looking forward to. Maybe getting some corned beef tomorrow. I really do actually like corned beef, and it's like the one day of the year you can get it most places. Not dying. It's like the secret to flying is aiming at the ground and missing. That's easily the best part of that book. Easily. First book, great. Second book, okay. Third book, you could tell he didn't really want to do it anymore. Fourth and fifth books, did it for the paycheck. Especially the fifth book. But what a trilogy. What a trilogy. And of course, the game is still painful. Stupid llama puzzle. Oh, stupid babelfish puzzle. That came up when we were doing Siberia. I'm like, I think this is going to be a babelfish puzzle. Turned out it wasn't. Much to my amusement. Okay, how am I going to do this now? Like, I do not like the sync here. Like, really don't like the sync. So you get to orbiting a planet? That's also true. But in the third Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy book, it points out that the secret to flying is aiming at the ground and missing. And Arthur Dent eventually learns how to do this while running away from, what's his name? Aragog, I think? He's a character you meet a lot before you... A character you see a lot before you meet him. Has a very unfortunate time in that book. A very, very unfortunate time in that series of books. But yeah, the first 3 books are really good. Or at least kind of good. But then you get to the 4th and 5th ones. The 4th one, eh. It's a lot of Arthur Dent being on Earth. Earth is pretty boring, as it turns out. I do like Zonko the Sane. Zonko the Sane I do appreciate. But he's the best part of the 4th one. And then the 5th one, it's just clear. Dude was done. Salted the earth after he was done, too, to make sure there would be nothing after. Which is fair. It's his book series. Probably should give, like, what was it? Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, or whatever the hell that's called, another shot. Tried reading that a long time ago when I was a lot younger, and maybe I'd appreciate it more. There was a good line in there about how you never compared anything favorably to an airport. Pretty as an airport is not something anybody says, which is a fairly reasonable observation as far as these things go. I think I'm making this obstacle a lot harder than it needs to be. No. Yes. That was a dick move. Okay. Oh, no. It just keeps going. Okay. I'm supremely lucky here. Thanks, I hate it. That's a fast pipe, too, so there's more level after this. No, it's not. Orb! Actually, really quick. You know what occurs to me? It occurs to me, and it's quite important now, that I need to do a thing. We'll get up and do that thing shortly. Because that was a long, long stretch. But there we go. Okay, cool. I don't know why I paused. But yes, we got an H. I'm trying to decide if I like this more or less than the prior section. Intriguing. I'm not sure what to think about that yet. So, clearly I need to burn time. Or, like, jump at the last second? I think I could make it if I spin jump, maybe. Well, no, then oh, no, Hammer Bros, no. Be quite a shame if someone reset now. That was exactly what I just went and did. I disabled that. Oh, come on! Why? Why, Hammer Bros? Does the music... Nope. I think I just hit a pretty nice loop point. Yeah, I think I paused just perfectly. All there is to it. I'm just gonna jump over him and hope for the best. And hope there's fewer of those in the future. I was all thinking about getting up and going to the bathroom. That was the other thing on my list of things to do now that we've made it forward a bit. Alright, that was panic, but it worked. Speaking of Red Cape... Oh, I hate it. Really hope I don't need more float. I need more float. This part is going to suck. There's a lot more precision here than I was expecting to need in this one jump. Alright, maybe I'll get up for a sec. I need to get up anyway. I've been sitting for like 2 hours and change. I can tell you what's going to happen. If I have to do this over multiple sessions, I'm going to cheat my way back to where I was. Because I don't think I could tolerate doing that. I probably could do that whole section again, not too badly. Like, I got pretty good at it by the end. But it depends upon how many sections in a row this has. And how long it takes me to beat each one. And the last one, I think, took me about an hour. Possibly more. Let's see, 216? Maybe not, actually. I think I started... I can see when I started it by looking when Daiso last said something. That would be the easy way to do that. So I started this hack about... about an hour and 30 minutes. Let's assume I spent at least 30 minutes on the puzzle. So... I do not need to read rigmaroles or rigamole. That's how that sentence ends. Rigmaroles are rigmaroles. Try saying that 4 times fast. I hate Hammer Bros. I hate Hammer Bros so much. Oh, and there's not excess. You have to do that all perfectly. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna just let these guys off screen a little bit to reset them. So I can do that. I hope this section isn't that long. Reality, it was. So slow. It does remind me, there was a online radio show I used to listen to that did an episode where quite literally the shtick was all of the songs were slowed down by like 70%. It was actually really cool. They did some video game music too. Like there was a track from Fez that actually sounded really awesome when slowed down about 70%. They also did one that was a song about peanut butter and jelly, I think, by some Swedish band. I forget what it was about. That was also a unique experience. They kind of said, the refrain kind of sounded like, I'm gonna summon the goat, but I don't think that's what it was. Vaguely remember the music. I saw the music video once. Had a bunch of people roller skating inside of a supermarket. Which, you know, is pretty normal as far as, like, music video concepts go. Stop jumping, wait for the hammer to finish spawning so you can go through the hole the second one makes. Dang nose. What else? I'm completely done editing all the Gabriel Knight stuff. I've been working on some of the videos from when I was traveling out east, and I'm not really sure what to do with them. The problem is that there's an annoying fan noise that happens periodically, because copied over my mic settings, and I have like a noise gate. So if the noise was a constant, it would be fine because I'd have like clean sources of it. But it really isn't. I have no clean source to like cut it out in Audacity. I just don't know what to do. Because all the settings I've been trying make the music sound really washed out. And I'm thinking that actually still might be better than the obnoxious amount of fan noise, but it's still not good. Wish I could find someone who actually knew something about that and ask them like pertinent questions. Not really sure where. Maybe I'll poke around. Maybe I'll finally like ask in someone's Discord or ask on the SMW Central Discord. I feel like somebody has to know something about removing that class of noise. Get some advice, or maybe just find someone to figure it out. I'd be perfectly happy to pay someone to figure this out. I spent enough time on it without making any meaningful progress. This bit here, I do not care for. Okay. Ah! Not dead. Not dead. Dead. Alright. I'm gonna let you enjoy demo staring at the swing for a minute here. I'm gonna get up and take a stretch break. I really need one. I'll be right back. More demo. A lot more demo. Possibly too much demo. It was good. Standing up was definitely the thing I needed to do. Clear the head. Remember what I'm doing. Let's see what else. Finished my last book, the Heinlein one, Citizen of the Galaxy. Wasn't happy about it. Kind of feel like he started that book without a serious plan. And the ending is just kind of flat. Like, to the point where I'm like, is there a sequel to this? Like, it feels like there should be a sequel to this. Nope. Just ends. So, starting on the Brandon Sanderson book that my sister gave me for Christmas. Or Yoga Book of Flood. So far it's interesting. It's kind of like a Western aesthetic, though there's clearly magic going on. Dude's already like a metal mancer or something. So, definitely went places in the first few minutes that I've listened to, mostly just doing the dishes. Because the dishes got to get done today. There were too many of them. When you're eating cereal out of a mug, it's time to do the dishes. General rule. I own at least 4 reasonable bowls, so that definitely means it's time to do them. And several unreasonable bowls, but that's beside the point. Ow. Missed the bus. Okay. Through here. The hit boxes for those things. Oh, you know what I haven't done? Even with Peace Speed, I don't think I can actually make that, can I? Yeah, I can't make that with Peace Speed. Don't gotta worry about it. That pipe is definitely not one I'll be able to go back into. Yeah, I think it's actually more important to wait more than to have a better jump, I guess. Or so it seems. Can I get above the level? No. Okay. Alright. Cool. Next phase. Can I get a better jump out of that? Like, if I have to burn less of my velocity going upward, it might be worth it. If I can start with a better jump. Like, that angle, I think, means I might be able to. Yeah, that feels more consistent. Yeah, I definitely feel more in the Kaizo realm now. A lot more precision is required than the prior section had. Definitely got flow, though. There is no part where I'm confused about what I need to do. In every part, I understand what I'm supposed to do. And at least I have a chance to see and react, which the first section, due to its folly nature, didn't really have as much. I suspect this is going to be a shorter section because of that, but we'll see. Hopefully it's not 1F screens long. Nothing I love more than a good post-game level where all of the area is 1F screens long. Radish Kingdom, I'm thinking of you. Oh, what a hack that was. But every time I'm not failing early means I get a little more space to work. Which is nice. It's too bad I'm not failing. Oh no, I'm failing backwards. There we go. You know, I kind of got my fill of combination of cape and block throwing of things back at the actual final, the last final boss. Not the final boss, but the previous final boss. Okay. Alright, now what? Oh, you're kidding me. Ugh. It is hard to read this level. That should have shattered. The block, not my block. The other block. I'm kind of worried I might need to go to the dentist. My jaw's hurting. I'm wondering if there's an unhappy tooth or if I've just been grinding in my sleep or something. Kinda hoping it just goes away. But if it doesn't in the next few days, I'll probably have to schedule a dentist appointment, which is a drag. At least I'm not traveling. Be a worse drag. I actually got a root canal last Thanksgiving, the prior Thanksgiving. That was fun. Turns out root canals aren't all that bad in the grand scheme of things. At least mine wasn't. Do a lot worse. In fact, I think I might have streamed the day I had a root canal. Went back to my sister's and did that. I think it was a Thursday. I was like, I might not do this because I'm having a root canal. Oh, yeah, I guess I can because it just worked. Like, they gave me some prescription pills. I don't think it was anything bigger than, like, maximum strength Tylenol or anything, so I wasn't even worried about that. But I didn't even end up taking them. I think I still got them somewhere. And some amoxicillin. It never hurts to have extra amoxicillin around. But, yeah, no real issues. Except maybe this is the tooth that's bugging me now. But it's also possible that since the cliche has been around, root canals have become a lot more routine. A lot kinder. Better topical anesthetics and things. Okay, cool. There we go. That part you have to do perfectly. Okay, I want to start with a block in my hand. That was probably a waste. That was definitely a waste. Okay. Bonk. This is the kind of level where you just cannot get away with any sort of slop. So I have to assume anytime I'm given a power-up or a block, I will need to utilize it to its fullest. Which is always a fun assumption. Always a fun assumption. It's a different spawn than last time. You know, I wonder with velocity, could I do that without hitting the bullet bill? It's probably not worth trying. It's not really cheese of interest. Like, even if I did manage to cheese it, whatever. Alright. Please beverage time again. Very long beverage time. Alright, I'm not cape yet. Okay. Boink. Oh! I wasn't holding forward, so I didn't actually kick it. I dropped it, and that does not work on those, I don't think. I don't think at all. I am beginning to get worried about the length of this. Oh. Ah! No. Why'd I go to the left? That was never part of my plan. One must have a plan for these sorts of things. Just in the nature of levels like this. Oh, what else is new? I think there's any, like, really cool stuff coming in the pipeline that I've been working on. The answer is no. Just been busy with work and occasionally doing streams. Gonna do D&D tomorrow, which will be nice. D&D is always kind of fun. But nothing too exciting. St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow. Do like St. Patrick's Day, but not enough to actually go do much about it. Though I am vaguely tempted if I go to the grocery store to buy a bunch of corned beef. But I'm not certain I want to eat that much corned beef. But it's not, like, hard to make. All you gotta do is, like, boil it. The funny thing, of course, is there's actually no corn in corned beef. It comes from the corning salt that's used to make it kind of pink. A preservative type of salt that I think is a carcinogen if you breathe it. So I would not recommend breathing in corning. Not recommended. Not recommended. I guess I also wouldn't recommend breathing in corn. General rule. Ow. Why did that... I rather think that should have worked. Ah. See the big cloud of me dying around there? I'm so glad this game doesn't use any amount of lives. Everything's on retry. Oh, that spike is so painful. If that was a regular block, it'd still be challenging, but you'd at least have a few seconds to, an extra second to do something. I've regressed again. Really want to get back to the Cape section. I need to land earlier. That's the problem. I cannot stand up until after... I just need to... Ah! I'm psyching myself out of actually being able to achieve this part. Like, it's literally all just... muscle memory at this point. Like, I just have to memorize everything I want to do. At least this part's free. Get a couple screens that way. Come back over here. Fail entirely at my twirl. SMW jank. That I'm not blaming the hack for. What are other, like, really good QLDC levels I haven't played yet? Because I haven't even done any of the mice ones yet. I have this friggin' SNES mouse, and I went and found it and got it out, and then I never bothered to play any of them. I am looking forward to playing some of them. Because the SNES mouse is an interesting peripheral that people don't really use that much for anything. Also, an excuse to use a ball mouse is a nice excuse. Even though my setup is terrible for it. I think last time I ended up using a friggin' book about duct tape to, as a mouse pad. But it kinda worked, I think. But it was, you know, 2 and change years ago. Hard to say when it's been that long. I think that I'm doing that part too fast. I can do that part slower. Okay. Just relax. What? Guess I need to just stop there. Well, at least I'm not dying on these spikes. I'm getting past one of the obstacles. But yeah, ball mice seem so quaint nowadays. Like, the laser mouse really ate its lunch so quickly. And those Microsoft IntelliMice were so good, comparatively. Like, there was no reason you wanted to go back after that, especially because, like, I think they could handle... They did PS2 pass-through. Yeah, I can wait a lot longer there before standing up. I just need to do that part more patiently. That's 3 times I have gone in, I've bolted into it. Yeah, I've made that part way harder in my mind. I just need to let the flow go. Have the funky flow. I wonder what the next, like, big advancement in human interface design would be. Like, we've been trying to do, like, speech-to-text for a long time, and it's moderately successful. But the mouse has really not gone away, despite the fact that we've gotten things, you know, like touchscreens and the like. I'm still dubious about touchscreens on computers. Squiggle's surprisingly gung-ho about touchscreens on computers. But Apple never really offers it. I don't think I'd use it even if I had it. Like, I don't really poke at my screen. I do like my trackpad. Maybe that's the difference here. Is like Squiggles prefers the clip mouse, whereas I'm a big proponent of the trackpad. Always have been. The trackpad was the first thing to really let us infinitely scroll in the right directions. There we go. It enabled the infinite canvas that Scott McCloud talked about so much. Though never really got working. Okay, spawn one early. Alright, that's good. Alright, next up I have to jump on that and then jump through the block. Alright, well that's interesting. So that's a power-up filter. I have to do that whole part off of one charge. That's a long distance to go without getting hit. I guess also I get some natural cape fall, but I can't hold B. So it's gotta be kind of a jig until I get upward to where I need to be. But hey, new PB. Can't complain too much. Never mind, I'm regressing. I can't complain a whole lot. Yeah, track pads. Infinite canvas. It's kind of depressing how little we use those ideas in modern web, just because, like, infinite scrolling mostly just means I can scroll down to get more suggested content, as opposed to there's content in both the X and Y directions. We only really scroll in the Y direction, ever. And there's that whole Z-axis we don't even use anymore. Alright, there we go. All scroll, no tapestry. Yeah, I mean, tapestries and scrolls really served different purposes back in the day. But they did both convey ideas. We're here to look at the tapestries. Now, that was like a big idea at one point in the 90s, was the idea of the infinite canvas for, like, doing comics. And there was, that one comic, it won some awards, but, like, nobody actually read it. Called, like, I think When I'm King or something. Follows a dude in, like, ancient Egypt-ish area, and I think it's mostly told through the medium of ideography. Iconography, perhaps. But, it uses infinite scrolling. You scroll both... Not infinite, but it uses scrolling in both the vertical and horizontal directions. You're not reading purely left to right, or right to left, or up to down. You go where the panels tell you to. It's kind of interesting as a concept, but I don't think it really ever took off, and we now know what the optimal type of webcomic is. It's a webtoon. Webtoons have won. I'm surprised at how quickly it happened, but it was just like overnight. Webtoons. We don't need other types of webcomics anymore, just webtoons. The Koreans beat us. Years of history, and the Koreans are like, nah, just make them good for phones. What's wrong with you people? Leave plenty of white space, so people can scroll on their phones. And then it happened. Webtoon. What's even sadder is I think that the webtoon company bought, was it Smack Jeeves or Drunk Duck or one of the bigger webcomic hosting sites, and took a bunch of those ones offline. They're just gone. Which is sad. Of course, mostly you're just missing out on, like, webcomics that were made by some kid and abandoned pretty soon thereafter. As most webcomics are, but still some level of history. Keen Space stuff is still all up, surprisingly. Turns out that Gav doesn't even own it anymore, which was a surprise to me. He sold it out a while ago. Long before he finished Nukies. Which I went and read the finale to. It was kind of weird. It definitely fell off the rails at the end. In the words of Marge Simpson, it was an ending that's good enough. Wouldn't say it was a good ending, but it was an ending and that was good enough. Ah, okay. Taking you with me. Maybe that's the smart move. Maybe I should try to kill the guy. only the second time I've gotten there, so it doesn't matter too much. Third time. Forgot I wasted the brick the first time. But yeah, if you have a webcomic with inspirations from the people you knew when you were still a grad student, it becomes a bit awkward to keep them in the comic for long term, which is probably one of the reasons why an awful lot of the characters eventually drifted out and there's only the actually fictional ones left. Which is unfortunate because Danny was one of the funnier characters. You can tell I'm running out of stuff to talk about. Nothing to talk about this level because I haven't made any significant progress in the last, like, 20 minutes. And that last obstacle in this area worries me. The last one I saw, at least. A lot of different types of scrolls, too. I don't know why this is something coming to mind, but, like, in Beyond Zork. Oh, I got that. I just had to hold right. There's a bunch of different scrolls you get that, because it's a text adventure game, except it wants to include, like, some RPG randomization elements, which is kind of interesting. Though it does mean you can build a character who's completely hosed from the get-go, which is kind of funny, because most of the characters that it pre-suggests are also kind of hosed. You have stats and stuff, and you get levels up, and you increase these stats, and you need certain stats to complete the game in terms of, like, luck, intellect, empathy, surprisingly, as a stat. So if you don't start with enough, you're kind of hosed, because only, like, fixed amounts you can actually get in the game of any of those given stats. Either from, like, potions, or finding artifacts, or squeezing moss. Squeezing moss is a big one in that one. But you get things like Palpset. Palpset? I forget exactly what the pronunciation of that particular readable item is. But certain places in that work very similarly across each run, which is interesting. It's a very different sort of Zork game compared to what the earlier ones were and the later ones became. I would like to give, like, Grand Inquisitor or... what was it, like, Return? Was it Return? I forget what it was. There's 2 Zork FMV games that I think could be fun, but I've never actually played them, so I have no idea. I harvested some FMVs from them for an idea I had for a channel point reward thing, but that broke horribly when I actually tested it as we were playing the game. So that didn't work. Long story short, you can't move files in Windows 98 when they're currently open. Microsoft doesn't like that particular mechanic, and Linux is fine with it. And Sierra games don't close their file handles. Surprise! I rather expected it to, because there'd be large file caches for it, but no real benefit to holding a window, or I guess there's a little bit of a benefit for repeatable videos. Maybe that's why. And the video I'd have replaced was a repeatable video. So you get to save a little bit of time when you're opening it, which probably saves you reading some Durance on the CD, if it's installed on a CD. Probably worth it? I don't know. It's probably just a side effect of the fact that most of the older Sierra games were the only thing that was running and didn't really care about closing file handles or being all that careful about stuff. In DOS land, you can kind of get away with that kind of thing, and it worked out just fine. Even in Windows land, you can kind of get away with that, and it works out just fine. Unless you open too many handles. And everything in Windows is a handle. Everything in Linux is a file. Everything in Windows is a handle. It's just how it is. Okay. No! Well, I'm not regressing as much as I was before. Like, I've definitely gotten these sections down fairly well. Which is why Windows always flies off the handle. For like 9X, it actually was important, because 9X wasn't really much of an operating system. It wasn't just on top of DOS. Like, it really wasn't on top of DOS. Like, DOS was there, but Windows 98 was running, or Windows 95 was running the show. It pretended well enough that most things in DOS land wouldn't notice that it wasn't running, that it was running the show. Just kind of emulated all the DOS VMs. Okay. That's awful. I also panicked at the first part a little bit. Like, you need a lot of time on that. And then it filters you. And presumably there's even more level after that. Like, that feels like a climactic ending there, but we'll see. Actually, I don't know if in Windows 95 everything would be a handle now I think about it. The handle mechanics are more of an NT thing. Yeah, it probably still is. NT was good at impersonating other operating systems. This whole idea of personalities and stuff that could have different syscall tables and things that was not used terribly much. Oh. I'm really glad there's some slop there. I'm also holding the controller way too hard. Okay. No! There is no consistency where Hammer Brothers are concerned. Except that one. I guess I've gotten that one consistent. When you do these parts right, they do feel they feel good. Okay. This part I've made worse, I think, by going back. Like, I think the prior way was spawning worked a little bit better, but whatever. I don't have to worry too much about them. It's better to not have to worry about those critters. No, God, why did I try to do that? There's no reason. I don't need to maintain velocity there. There's almost no velocity to maintain, frankly. Bizarrely enough, I've actually met Mark Zivakowski of the famous MZ executable that the EXEs eventually became. The first set of executable .exes I don't think actually bore his initials as their first mark, but they were a huge step up over COM files. COM files are silly. They are also very convenient. If you want to write something simple that works, COM files. There's no headers. There's no information you need to know. It just picks up the whole dang thing, puts it into memory at a given location, and goes to town. Very easy to work with, comparatively. You don't need a linker that understands what it's doing. Just write it all in assembly. Know where your entry point is. Oh yeah, it's at the beginning of the file. Problem solved. It's good stuff. Something about that last the last obstacle I've seen and how it's supposed to work. And I'm not coming to any good conclusions. Like, I want to enter into it ducking, but I don't think I can. I don't think ducking matters that much. Like, maybe it's set up such that if you just hold it you get there without too much trouble. Like, maybe it's just set up nicely. Like, an awful lot of this is set up nicely. Like, this jump is set up perfectly. As long as you do a slide jump there and just neutral, you're good. Like, that's free. Completely free. And these are kind of free, too. But, fuck down, forgot about that. Alright, cool. I'm surprised I made that. I thought it was gonna fall. I hit the ground there a little early. Extra 1F0 here is kind of nice. Okay, got here. Oh, I went too high. Just wonder how much more level there could be. I'm expecting like an end pipe troll again. At least one of those. A troll upon entering that part. Like, I'm trying to come up with what I would do to cheese this if I wanted to get past it quickly and had to do so next stream. Which is not what I was expecting for this. And I don't have a lot of good answers. Like, part of the problem is there's spikes that murder you if you fuck up. Like, I kind of think the best thing for me to do would probably be, like, turn on water and just swim over a good chunk of the level. And hope that there's a place to come down. I found a hole in the geometry there. That's interesting. Put a marker down for that, I guess. It's a really small thing, ultimately, but... ran into it, so I'm gonna put a marker down. First marker of the session, though. That's a good thing. Like, for a hack of this length, the number of markers I put down is pretty small. But given the pedigree of the testers, I'm not terribly surprised. Got Howluta, got Louie, got a bunch of good people. Amper, I think. Narakun. I'd have to look at the credits again, I already forgot everyone else. But, like, a good bunch of people I know are just solid players. Not like that, they're like Uncle Bill tested. Because what would the equivalent of Uncle Bill in France? A generic uncle name. That was closer than I would have liked. Okay. I hope the next section has different music. I like core and all, but nothing quite like listening to the same music for like 4 hours when playing SMW. Okay, cool. That was the troll. Cool. Another H. And more of the red cape. Okay. I see what I have to do there. Oh, actually, I should test that pipe. I probably didn't need to die to... Actually, I don't think I can... Yeah, even with P-Speed, I don't think I can actually make that. I think that's one tile too tall. Yep. Okay, problem solved. I think I can just go. Like, I am overthinking this obstacle. Yeah, I can just go. I was really hoping we were done with Red Cape after that section. Yeah, that's so cheesy. If I hesitate, what happens there? I don't hesitate, what happens there? Like, that's completely free. You just hold right and B, and that works. I'm really happy about that. I expected to do something smarter. I take it back. You don't just hold right and B. Most of the time you hold right and B. Oh man, I'm hungry. I should not have just had a salad for dinner. Salad's good and all, but also dinner was like almost 12 hours ago. This has the same problem as the last section. You can't see that far ahead of you because they don't, oh, fucked already. Because their patch for moving the camera downward doesn't exist. Like, there's some levels in some hacks that do this right, where, like, it moves it so that the camera will be higher up, so you can see more of where you're falling at certain times. And I want to say, like, Jump Half has a level or two like that. Whereas Climb the Tower has a downward level where you have to fall down the tower, the titular tower. That's really long and tedious and really hard because you can't see where you're going until you've already got there. So like that. You could not see you need to go to the far left until after. Well, I'm fucked. Let's see what we can see still. Oh, never mind. Until you've already basically fallen past it. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of falling in SMW. Just because an awful lot of hacks just don't include that patch that lets them do that nicely. Now that I know where it is, it doesn't matter, but I would not have been able to read this well enough to guess far left with enough time, given the tightness constraints. Maybe someone better could, but I certainly couldn't. Alright. Oh! You know, I still like this section better than the last one. Mostly because there's no Hammer Bros. It's a small favor, but still, no Hammer Bros makes me a lot happier. What are these sections this is? This is the third one. So I wonder if there is 6 sections. That feels right to me. Oh. Oh, please, please save my progress. If that wipes up my progress, I'm... Okay, good. I don't know how that sentence was going to end. I'm so glad it didn't have to. But yeah, you look at that, you're so far down the screen comparatively. Really wish there were like some nice camera patches that were easy and weren't terrible to integrate. Just like Uber ASM things. The sprite-based Uber ASM stuff they did for like BLDC would be great there. Alright, well they're gone. Oh look, more block time! Oh, come on. No Hammer Bro makes Pat a dull boy. I'm fine with that. I'm happy to be dull. How you doing, Curtis? Look, this is the third section in this level. I'm not sure how long it's going to go. I know how long I'm going to go, but I don't know how long it's going to go, which means I'm going to have to come back again and beat that part again. Like, don't get me wrong, at least I've got information now and know how to flow through parts of this, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to do another session of this. At this point, which I was kind of hoping to avoid. Not this hack isn't fun and all, but like there's just other things I gotta do in life. And this hack has taken long enough moderation-wise as it is. Like, I picked this up almost a month ago, I think, like the 11th of February. And February's short, admittedly, but still, I don't like to hold on to hacks this long. But this has been a really long hack. Like, in general, for standard hacks, I can clear things out at a pretty reasonable pace. But this was Marissa World pace. A little faster than Marissa World pace, but still. Okay. Alright, doing good. Waking up. With your best friend, Mr. Coffee? Nice. Nice. It's been a good hack. It is a really good hack. I would recommend it to anybody who likes hard levels with interesting gimmicks. There's been a few levels where I'm like, but for the most part, like, it's just been really good. Like, all the level design's well thought out. Some parts are really long. Like, for moderation purposes, there are some things I, didn't like, but will be very reasonable outside of moderation, because when you're moderating a hack, you're not really just playing it. You're playing it in a very specific, stilted way that is a little more unpleasant. Like, all of these pick-a-room things that I had to do all of the rooms for. Wouldn't have done that if I wasn't moderating. I would have made the levels a lot easier. Alright. Oh, boy. I didn't think that was going to work. Oh, and it didn't work! Alright, well, at least we'll see what's ahead. Yep, okay. There was also a really big puzzle level that I just completed today, too. I had to take a hint. There was one mechanic I did not figure out. I figured out a lot of the important things. I had the order of one thing wrong, and there was just a property of Yoshi's and Yoshi destruction I was unaware of. Which is to say that objects on a Yoshi's tongue, when the Yoshi is destructed, just fall off and start whatever action they generally would have if left in air. Wasn't my first guess. Yeah, quality checking, exactly. Good luck, finale. How's the puzzle? That was good. I ended up having to cheat a little bit. I took a hint. There were two things I did wrong. I had, like, the ideas right, but I didn't have the right first power-up. Also, how you doing, Louie? And I also didn't understand the thing with the Yoshi tongue and Yoshi dying. That was a mechanic I was just unaware of. Otherwise, I thought it was kind of fun. I had, like, all of the lengthy string of things I had to do right, except that by the end. And then the rest was just execution. And now I'm on this. So, I think I have to ask this question, so I think you know the answer, Louie. How many rooms does this last level have? I'm on what I believe to be the third room, and I'm a little bit worried. In terms of, like, my ability to complete this tonight. Fooled yourself to think something was impossible under certain conditions, and whether it actually was, you went in circles. Oh, I feel the same. I kept trying to make Yoshi eat the power-up and get the cape power-up and escape through the bottom hatch on the right side, and that did not work. I also tried to cheese it for a non-trivial amount of time just by getting a mushroom out into the field. That did not work. But it was fun to try. The field of munchers, of course. Jump. Yeah, it was a really good puzzle. Like, the only thing I really have a complaint about is just, like, there's a couple mechanics that were just really hard to guess unless you didn't already know them. The block-Yoshi interaction was a weird one. I waited too long. Quite a few sections, yeah. No, they do not save. The save orbs, the midway orbs are different. They do not save, as stated. Forgot you can check. I would appreciate that. Because, like, I think I can easily cheat my way through the first section if I feel the need to, which I might if I do a second lap of this. And I think I can easily cheat my way around this third section if I beat it. At least parts of it. Like this part, I could swim through if I wanted. I don't think I will. I think I can beat those sections easily enough now. I don't know. We'll find out later if that's how long it goes. But if there's like 4 sections, I'm going to just try to bowl through it. But if there's 6, well, if there's 6. Room 1 is jumping piranhas? Yeah, room 1 is jumping piranhas. The really short jumping piranhas. Like, they barely jump. They're kind of just vibing piranhas, honestly. And this is the third room by my count. The second one is the Hammer Brother block Red Cape extravaganza. This still has both of those things, but... in lesser proportions. guess actually no, you spend the whole time red caping this one. I can't say it's lesser proportions. That part's free, I just need to be careful. That room? The second room? Okay. Alright, I felt like I got through that room previously by bare luck. Alright, cool. I hope I didn't need to catch that. Nope. Oh, the first? Okay. Yeah, the first had a lot of precision in it. And I ran into some instances where, like, I was having problems getting the spawns to line up a little bit. Like, I got through it eventually. I came up with strats eventually. But, like, there was a double piranha plant bit that took a long time to get through consistently. And even then, by the end, I never came up with a good strat there. Because my spawns were weird. The first time I achieved it, I had way different spawns than, like, subsequently every other time I got to that part. I think this one's not hard, just hug the wall. Okay. I'm kind of wondering if I should insist upon a Kaizo tag for this level. Like, the first section just felt really hard, but the subsequent ones, like, are not just really hard, they require a lot of precision, and of course, you can't choose where you're going to take your hits. You have to play without being hit ever. Not sure yet. It's one of those things where having a Kaizo tag for one level kind of sucks. I don't know. It's also not required to beat it. That kind of colors it a little bit too. Not something I'm going to worry about too much until I actually beat it. And I know Yogui's already has a 1.01 that I'll need to look at when the time comes. There we go. Oh, came down too early. Did wonder for this level. It's very Kaizo-esque. Notice some segments where damage boost is okay, but it's extremely rare. I have not seen a segment where damage boost was acceptable. Not a single one yet. There weren't any power-ups in the first section. And the second section, there were really no places where you could take a hit and keep running, because most of the places where you might be able to exploit damage, your damage timer, it's surrounded by these toothy spikes, which are instant death. Like, there was one part near the very end where I really wanted to damage boost, but couldn't, because it was surrounded by these big toothy spikes. So. Little segment before picking up the block. I guess I could get hit there somehow. We're on to this phase again. Okay, wait for Blargy. Ah! Yeah. Would have been funny if I'd actually gotten the little bit of a boost off of that. As far as, like, it's Kaizo in that sense, as I know it when I see it. My hands definitely feel like this is Kaizo. But when it comes down to things like Kaizo, I generally hold down buttons a lot harder when I'm playing Kaizo levels, which I really shouldn't. It's definitely a thing I should work to cease doing, because it generally ends up making my fingers hurt over time. If there's something nice about this level now, it's that the death spikes have a normal hitbox, not large coin hitbox. Oh my! Well, that's nice. Yeah, it's also possible that things may have changed since you last played it. I don't know when you beta tested it. I did see your name show up in the credits both times I looked at them. After beating the game and not knowing where to go, I beat the final boss again as a, well, maybe this is a thing. I did get to see that my number of moons and exits were updated, which was kind of nice. Nice little touch. Of course, we both know that's not how you actually get to the secret world. I ended up walking through the entirety of the hack looking for the secret world, and it was in the last place I looked. Which was funny. Little sheet where you track stuff. Yeah, I've seen a sheet. So I do know what the changes he made, and I did actually run into one of the bugs he's fixing in 1.0, or 1.01. I got hit by Bowser when he entered, by Boom Boom when he entered his ridiculous speed phase, ludicrous speed phase, and he kind of just decided he was kind of done with the fight and left. Thankfully, and I forgot about this, but it is in the game, there's the infinite softlock avoidance code, where you just can, like, pause the game and press LR and A or something. I forget exactly what it is, but it always works. It's necessary for that icy level where it's really easy to softlock yourself because you just run out of velocity. Code for Melee? Really? Didn't know that was in Melee. Level has some nerfs, don't think there's been any real changes in length. I'm not surprised. Like, usually, when you make changes to such a hack, it's mostly going to be nerfs. I'm so sick of failing that bit. That jump is surprisingly difficult. Watt used a similar thing in his hack and he commented on that? No idea either. Huh. Yeah, I never played Melee in any serious capacity. Brawl was the first Smash Brothers game I actually played, you know, more than a few minutes of, when it was relevant. I mean, Melee's still relevant, but still. Played Melee, or played Brawl with the interns at Google a lot that summer. In fact, the guy who owned the Wii actually let me borrow it so I could play Mario Galaxy, which was pretty nice of him. Since I didn't own a Wii of my own. Oh, sup, Fries? How you doing? But yeah, I can imagine it's pretty nifty just to include that, because it just takes care of a class of things that we have to look for when moderating that we just don't have to look for anymore. Like, it's okay if you soft lock, if you can always exit a level. Like, whoop-de-doo. As long as it doesn't, like, permanently scar your save file. Or, I guess, require a reset. I'd be a little annoyed at that. But, like, you can just keep going, and it's fine. You keep your midways, you just die. Problem solved. It's an elegant solution. Okay. I'm also happy to report that I've beaten Final Fantasy III as of yesterday, and so I'm one step closer to Dark Souls, which is also on that list. It's not that far down, but I don't know how long everything else is going to take. I'm probably going to move Desi's Final Fantasy II request up in place of the Zelda one. Finally. I'm dumb. But after Shadow Man, I'm going to have to start juggling schedules and figuring things out again, because Shadow Man just kind of worked okay, being late at night on the weekends. I think I'm toast. But I'm looking forward to easier scheduling, more consistent scheduling, and like the Desi Wednesdays have worked pretty well so far. Though I'll talk to him and see if he wants to continue that for more nonsense, or if he'd like to do something different. He has so many requests in that queue, so getting a few more done does not hurt. More than I'm shuffling the games around, but keeping the people in the right order. Still gotta sit down and do my Zelda hacking. Which would be fun once I actually get around to it. I keep making that jump! And of course, one step closer to Baldur's Gate. One of the games of all time. I wonder how well it'll run on this Windows 98 machine. Or if that even matters. Oh, I did that so much earlier than I usually do. I was not prepared. Anyway, you might have looked this up, but I asked this question, and maybe you forgot, but I was curious how many sections this level has in total, being that I'm on the third one now. Don't know if we got distracted. It's all good, regardless, but I'm still curious, and it's going to inform my opinion about how I'm going to handle things in the near future. No worries. I'm just glad. I appreciate you looking it up for me. I was like, yeah, that was a thing that happened a while ago. Just wanted to make sure it wasn't forgotten. I'm gonna miss the clip. Perfect. 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 Speaking of Lunar Magic, I'm really happy I found a way to actually run it on this new Mac, since I got one of the M1 Macs. And it would suck if I wouldn't be able to run, like, the 3 Windows programs I need. Didn't have it figured out during the mystery hunt, so I kept running T on a different machine. Yeah, I did. You have to get a specific fork of wine for it to work, but it works surprisingly well. Like, the problem is like, wine... I don't like that. No, it worked out fine. Wine only was supporting 64-bit stuff, and the programs we're running are 32-bit builds. I don't think there's a 64-bit build of Lunar Magic. Or if there is, I didn't find it immediately. It wouldn't surprise me if Fusia would have to update a bunch of shit to actually make it work on 64-bit, given the age of the codebase. But T is never getting another release. It's always going to be a 32-bit program. And so I definitely needed something to work for that, so got that working. Didn't want that early. It'll work out. Alright, cool. Yeah, it actually wasn't that hard. There was just a specific thing in Brew I had to install. Didn't even have to build from source myself, which was nice. No. All the dumbass ways to fail there. I'm finding new and innovative ways to fail. Probably been long enough I could just talk about Colossal Cave Adventure again. Since me and Snyder finished Siberia last week, we embarked upon a new point-and-click adventure game for our Thursday meetup. And this one was Colossal Cave Adventure, a new game by Ken and Roberta Williams, aka the people who were Sierra back in the day. And it's not really a new game, it's actually just like a sort of updated port of the oldest adventure game of all time, Colossal Cave Adventure. Like, it was the progenitor of the genre. And all the puzzles are the same, but they've, made us here walking around in a 3D area, which is interesting. And there's a narrator, and he reads aloud the descriptions that were there in the old game. And there, of course, is the progenitor of some cliches you might be familiar with, like, you are in a maze of twisty passages all alike. We made it there today, actually. We're still working on a few puzzles, including the one where we successfully prevent the bear from coming across the bridge with us. I failed that jump. We got an achievement for failing that particular puzzle. I need a handbrake. It hurts. Yeah, but so far for the price, and it's like $25 on Steam, I have been entertained. My opinion of that may change later, but so far I feel it's been a worthwhile purchase for our enjoyment. We had to bust out, despite the fact... So it has some modern niceties that the old adventure games didn't have. For instance, it has an auto mapper, which is really nice, because you really do need a map, or you will get lost and confused. In part because the lighting is kind of awful, which is kind of part of the game. So in the original game, you had a lantern that ran out of fuel after some number of turns. And the same is true in this game, though we opted for the wuss mode that gives us more lantern time. So I have no idea how much time is left on our lantern. A little bit of progress, a little bit of progress. Nope. No. But yeah, there's a sizable game there. We did actually have to do some mapping at one point because of a specific puzzle that I think we solved. Like, I think we found what we wanted to out of that, but I'm not entirely certain. Like, the game is very unclear in places because why would it be clear? It didn't know what to be clear about back in the day. So we're still trying to figure out where you need to say "pla" and where you need to say "zizzy." But we did figure out the purposes of "fee, fi, foo." Not those magic words. We still have to find a couple more magic words. There's a lot of magic words. Oh, I ducked. Rosalina? Okay. Exit. Exit level is death. Okay, good. Yeah, it works. She's kind of a floatier character. She looks very nervous about this whole affair. It's like, you brought me off the bench for this. To be fair, though, Rosalina's probably better at handling blocks because she has hands. And Demo doesn't. Well, that's why she's blushing a little bit. 5 or so sections at a boss. Okay, that's not terrible. Alright, well... It's 3:30 now. And I have made it partway through section 3. I think, unequivocally, I have to state that there's probably going to be one more session of this. Just because I don't think I can make it through 2 more sections of this difficulty. Unless they're much easier sections, which I doubt, in under an hour. But we're gonna go as far as we can. Okay. Probably would recommend the break, though. 4 and 5 are more standard in this, so the movement is quite technical. I think you'll see what you mean. Don't know how you felt about the bosses, but the boss isn't too crazy. I haven't found any of the bosses to be too onerous. Even the Boom Boom fight, the last Boom Boom fight, wasn't that bad. I do think the other fight was more fun. The final boss in the not Bowser's Castle or whatever it was called, was a lot more fun than the last Boom Boom fight, but still, the Boom Boom fight was also just perfectly fine. I had some problems with the bullet dodging sections, but that was about it. Like, everything else was really reasonable to me. I never quite came up with the right strategy for jumping on bullets and avoiding Boom Boom on the second pass of that. But once I got past the second pass, I was pretty much home free, so... Yes, Saucier Mustache. That's it. That is the name. I was just blanking on it even though I fought him again. Like, Tuesday. trying to think of when I will have time and inclination to do this in the near future. Maybe tomorrow? I was kind of thinking tomorrow, if I stream, I might do Shadow Man just for the timing purposes. Could do it Saturday, maybe Sunday if I wanted to. I don't know. Just depends upon what I end up doing on Saturday. I don't have set plans yet. Could work for Saturday. Or Sunday. But yeah, I'll probably end up having to take a break. I'd like to get past this section. I think that's going to be my, like, terminal point. Either I'll run out of time or I beat this section, whichever comes first. And then we'll call it good. And come in completely fresh on this. Like, I am going to just spend the day grinding it, however long it takes. So I won't start, you know, on a work night. Still got to get up early tomorrow, and in fact, I'd still need to actually finish up some notes. I was running a script right before I started this stream, and I need to see what the results were. It was only half done. And I need to put up a PR before I go to bed. Day off will mean a much better time in the earlier rooms if you do them again. I think so. I'm not that worried about the first room. The second room, I think, is the one that's going to cause me the most time I'll have to spend, because the first room I can cheat. If I really want to, in the first room I can turn on Always Game, and I can just walk through it. Like, there's no real stopping me in that room. There's, like, some munchers, but kind of whoop-de-doo. Like, there's nothing there that's actually instant death spikes, I don't think. And if they are, infinite cake, problem solved. The second room, though, I can't cheat that. The extra block power-up stuff is not something I can get around using chat hack stuff without, like, kind of just going outside the level and coming back. Which I could do if I felt the need to, but we'll see. This level, similarly. The only way I think I can cheat this is by swimming outside the level and coming back in, provided there's a place to do so. Which, yeah. Disable level 1, layer 1, disable water. That would basically be the plan. I'd have to look up what the actual name of that is, because I've kind of forgotten it. I usually just use kill, but I have to turn layer 1 back on at some point. So I have to actually look up the address being used or the name, the alias that's been given. But for my edification, at least, I want to beat this third section. Yeah. Kill is really nice in the sense I can disable it, and if the interaction I need to make is something that doesn't require layer 2 or layer 1, it can work out. But oftentimes it just doesn't. It just kills me. So it serves its purpose. And also, I guess in terms of preparing for things and streaming, I need to get my April Fool's Day stuff ready. I'm going to talk to Squiggles. I have an idea. Might require a small amount of cooperation from him. A very small amount of cooperation from him. Though it will be very late Friday the 31st, really. Because the April 1st, there's actually an event I need to attend. Go hang out with Fistbit for a bit. I'm not certain I'm going to want to stream after said event, because it's going to take a long time. It'll be a long day, I'm certain. Because the last one was a long day. Dang it. And, well, actually, no, the last one wasn't that long of a day, now I think about it, because we went to the event. My sister went to the event, too. That was fun, because she was in town. And after the event, basically came back home and went to bed. Fisk caught the bus with me, like, he parked over here. That was a pain, because he brought back, like, 12 bottles of liquor from that event. It's the Seattle Festival of Cocktails. The thing about these events in Seattle, it's really weird, is that when they do these sorts of events, they claim it's for charity. And I'm certain it is, but I have no idea what charity it actually is for. But if you're doing a charitable event, it removes liquor taxes, which is the vast majority of the cost of a bottle of liquor in Washington. We have immensely high sin taxes compared to, say, California or New Hampshire. So, Fisk bought a lot of assorted things. I think it was mostly mezcal. Maybe a couple whiskeys, but mostly mezcal. I forget what company showed up, but there was a good mezcalero there. And had some nice tasty things. But yeah, I was surprised it did be on April 1st. Which is a little unfortunate, but still. I think that the idea I have works pretty reasonably. I'll save one of my other ideas for next year. That jump sucks. I'm still not certain how to do it consistently. Yeah, Rosalina's a good choice for this level. You know, when I'm not duck jumping. She kind of looks like a person holding a loaf of bread over her head. But her falling pose looks really nice. You know. Like this. Very classy. Oh, that's free. I've been making that harder than it should be. Whee! Okay. Wait. Oh, that worked. It shouldn't have worked. I was hoping I could get away with that. Oh, actually, I could have gotten away with that. Oh, no, I can get away with that. I can damage boost that part. Okay, yeah, next time I fail it, I'm just gonna damage boost through. Could I do that? Could I wait it out? Those things move really slowly, but it's possible. I'm thinking. Okay. Those spawns happened a little bit different than last time. Makes me reticent to try the completely cheesy route for this. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, no. Alright, yeah. I messed up the spawns there somehow really badly compared to what I usually expect. Oh, and I never touched the ground. Finding new and unique ways to fail this. It's a thing we bring you. New and unique ways of failure. Brought to you by patcdr.net and the number 2. Ow. I was holding down. Alright, handbrake. Grab the colder beverage. Take a gulp. And jive. All right. I think this is the difference. I usually just hug the left side, and that sets up all my spawns the way I want them. Yeah. Here, these can be a little bit different. Alright. Back to block. Someone knew I was going to fail that the moment I jumped it. I have no feel for that jump. I have no idea what works for it. I just keep blindly hoping. Whereas most of the other stuff in this first section I have a decent idea how to do without failure, that I am completely baffled by. Alright. Perfect. I'm trying to think of anything to talk about at this point that isn't Colossal Cave Adventure. Don't even have much of that to talk about because we didn't actually get that far. Okay. This is still doable because I get new one in a second. Like, that is a damage boost I can take. If I fuck that up, it's not completely over. Alright, we're in new territory. Oh, I didn't realize what I had to do. Ah, okay. These parts are really hard to read in terms of what I need to do with the time I have to figure it out and do it. But I'm also not a good blind reader. I mean, I don't know, am I? I don't think so. I would say my ROM hack races record would show it. Well, maybe that's something I could do tomorrow, or Saturday. That'd be kind of fun. It was all fours yet last time. I doubt it'll be that easy this time. But if there's another all fours one, a Forza, if you will. Oh. Thank you for following. It popped up a box that didn't work. But you got an empty message box, and that was pretty cool. Some integrations do not work well on SA1 and very fancy hacks like this one. There's a lot of ASM that went into this hack. I think it's mostly the ASM. I don't know why. Maybe the table's been relocated or something. Because... Thank you, that works. Vocalized fish. Fish! Today's fish is trout a la creme. Enjoy your meal. Fish! Today's fish is trout a la creme. Enjoy your meal. Fish! Etc. Oh, Cat, how you inspire us. Yeah, Red Dwarf was a lot of fun. I really liked that show at the time. Used to get to stay up late watching it once a week. Oh, how did that spawn fail me? I think it was on Fridays. But we got to stay up a little bit extra late, like 10 o'clock, maybe 11. No, I think it was 11, because it like came on at 10:30-ish, and of course you always had to watch Stargazer after it, where the dude explained exactly which stars of interest would be around this week. If you wake up really early and you're in the Eastern time zone, you get to see Venus over here. It'll be very bright. Dude was just excited about stars. But yeah, I think Star Trek came on, The Next Generation came on at 9 p.m., and that's how I vaguely remember, because my bedtime was after Star Trek for a long time. Back when TNG was still, like, the show. Oh, that was such a good show. Most of it. There were parts. I expected to die there. We were all big fans of it back in the day, as kids. Was the show? Star Trek The Next Generation. Or Red Dwarf, that was the one we're talking about first. But they're both sci-fi shows that were on TV in the 90s. Red Dwarf's a British comedy. I feel I shouldn't have to introduce Star Trek The Next Generation. It's the one with Captain Picard. Oh, it's still the show. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, I still say it's my favorite of the Star Treks. Like, if I was going to watch Star Trek on TV, it would be that one. I've heard good things about Deep Space Nine. I have not invested the time and effort to actually watch it. I understand it's pretty good. The original series is kind of fun for what it is, but it is what it is. Voyager is dumb. I just cannot take any TV show seriously that isn't doing the... isn't at least kind of making fun of the Lost in Space premise, because it's literally Lost in Space. Oh look, we found a thing this week that'll let us get back to known space. Oh, we can't use it because of reasons. Okay. Thank you, we'll go next week. Back to normal space. At least Space Cases was kind of fun because it was like a, kids show. But Lost in Space is a dumb premise. Except for Lost in Space, which did it first, I guess. Which, still not exactly enthralled with it, but it was the classic. You can tell I have strong feelings about this. DS9 was going its own way. Yeah, it was a different show. Remember when it was on, my dad called it a space opera. And it probably was closer to that than TNG was. But still. What were the other ones? Like Enterprise? Enterprise just kind of existed. I don't remember watching any of it. Maybe people liked it. It had the guy from Quantum Leap. That's all I remember. Discovery is new. I don't think I wanted to watch that. Picard, didn't feel the need to watch that. Like, they tried to make a few more Star Trek TV shows, but they never really recaptured what they had with Next Gen. I think part of it was that Roddenberry was still alive and had a decent amount of control over things, and then died, which let the other writers get to do more exciting things, but only in sort of moderation. You still had the future optimism there, which was sort of the key to the whole thing and what Roddenberry was all about. So, Discovery is so self-righteous, it makes the Emperor of Mankind vomit. It takes a lot of self-righteousness to be that incredulous for a Warhammer character, especially one that can't go very far. If only he had some sort of device that would let his will be known. But alas, I think he'll never get that text-to-speech device. Not watched Enterprise? Yeah, I think it was just on after I stopped watching a lot of TV. Like, when I went to college, I just didn't watch much TV because I was busy being in college. So, it was cringe. Cringe that killed the beast. I heard good things about the animated series. Like, didn't the Family Guy do Family Guy guy do a animated Star Trek or something like that? Maybe it was an animated Star Trek parody, kind of like how Galaxy Quest is the best modern Star Trek movie. Like, I liked First Contact, but man, not really the thing you want for a Star Trek movie. Heard about Lower Decks, but you also heard it. You should watch it. I don't know. Like, quite literally, I don't watch anything. When my sister was here, we were discussing things, and she watches, like, all the Marvel shows, and I don't watch anything. I watch an occasional cooking show. I occasionally watch an anime episode if I don't have a good book on tape to listen to. But, like, I don't really watch TV unless I'm sick. Next time I'm sick, I'll probably message him like, hey, what should I watch? I'm sick. But that's about it. I occasionally watch a show or two if I like visiting another sibling or my mom or something. The last time I visited my mom, I ended up watching like 2/3 of The Matrix. She got tired and wanted to go to bed about 2/3 in, and she's like, will I miss anything? I'm like, nah, just more fights. It's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good on Matrix now. So. Voyager, I think most episodes were hit or miss. The ones that are hit are really good. Maybe, but like most of what I saw in Voyager was just eh. And the premise forever bugs me. I hate the premise. I do remember liking the Doctor's cameo. They have like the holodeck Doctor guys cameo in First Contact. That was probably the best association with Voyager I had ever. Watched the original series in Illinois. It's a very different TV show. Like, I don't really mind original series, but I think the movies, well, the even-numbered movies, are much better than the TV show. Like, I'd easily watch Wrath of Khan any day, or what was the fourth one called? Journey Home? The Last Frontier is a bit of a hard sell, I guess. Search for Spock isn't good. The motion picture isn't good. What does God need with a starship? I don't remember what the fifth one was. That's how much I don't care. Star Trek Picard have really mixed feelings about it. Well, the problem is, especially with like the TNG cast, is they're all really old now. Like they were already kind of long in the tooth when they did the later movies. But like it's really hard to make a decent action show out of what they have with TNG now. I mean, I liked them when they were around, but didn't need to necessarily bring it back. And also Picard as a character kind of atrophied post a certain point. First Contact Picard is not the Picard in All Good Things. I liked both Picards, but it's easy to note that they're not the same character. And then later ones, what is that? There's one movie where they have a dune buggy scene for no apparent reason other than Patrick Stewart wanted to ride in dune buggies. Like, that was literally the reason they added that scene to the movie. Like, I really think the magic of Next Gen was in part because Roddenberry was still alive for a good chunk of it. and that him dying had a positive impact in how parts of the show worked. But subsequently, nobody cares about his wishes anymore, and so people just do whatever the fuck they want, and it's not as good Star Trek as it could have been. That's my theory, at least. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. 80 or 90? Yeah, he's getting up there. I mean, he wasn't that old. He looked kind of old because of the baldness, but he's been bald for a long time. But yeah, he's getting old. It wouldn't surprise me if he'd be happier doing other things. Like, he was a Shakespearean actor before he did Star Trek. And so I wouldn't be surprised if he preferred acting on stage. I actually saw a play, but it was broadcast to New Hampshire, so it wasn't like live, but it had him. Who was the other guy? Another very famous actor. I think the guy who played I'm drawing a blank. Evil Wizard in Lord of the Rings were both characters, and Patrick Stewart was a bit of a bum. The other guy was a rich guy he was sponging off of, and I don't remember enough of what actually happened in the play. It was weird. It was really weird. But I'm certain oh, Ian McKellen. Thank you, Brain. Took long enough. Someone probably already said it in chat. Xavier Magneto combo. Exactly. Born 1940. Everyone's... Yeah. Yeah, definitely getting long in the tooth then. That's 80 years and change. We have a shot at this. Poop the snoot. No! But yeah, that was a weird play. I might have to ask my sister what play it was. Because we just wanted to do something before the mystery hunt, so we went out and did that. They were doing like a community thing at the small theater in New Hampshire. One of the cities. Let's say Salem. That's the biggest city in New Hampshire. There's not very many cities in New Hampshire. Mostly because I don't remember which city it was. Still more interesting than New Haven. New Haven is a really silly place. It's a city that basically only has Yale University in it. That's it. That's all there is in New Haven. Like, there's a Dunkin' Donuts, and there's Yale, and that's it. And an Amtrak stop. Nothing more interesting. So... Oh yeah, what about Generations? Generations was a weird movie. I mean, you got to have both Captain Kirk and Picard in one movie, but like, that movie was not great. Like, the whole premise being dudes exploding worlds so that he can move this weird rainbow band to live forever in his fantasy world is a little bit weird to start with. The fact that Picard managed to convince Kirk to leave Weird Fantasyland is a whole nother hill of beans. I think Whoopi Goldberg had a surprising amount of airtime in that particular movie, too. Back when people still wanted Whoopi Goldberg in their movies. Has she actually done anything in years? I really don't know anymore. I don't watch enough movies to know. She's on a TV show now. Some sort of talk show. Ugh. I just want another shot at that throw block set bit down there. A few pixels of... No, that isn't even my PB. My PB is beyond that part. Like, I've gotten beyond it once. And that was the one where, like, I almost failed it, I think. I don't know. I think I did that one okay. But basically, I didn't know what to do with a throw block, and I guessed wrong. I needed to take it low when I went high with it. I didn't have time to get back where I needed to be. Yep. Well, at least I know how many sections there are now. Louis told me there's 5 and a boss. That makes me feel better about a few things. But I've been working on this level for probably... I'd say probably 2.5 hours. I'd have to check, but I'm not entirely certain. I think I'd be able to do the first 2 sections faster next time, but it will still take some time. It won't be instant. Skull parts are so tedious. And surprisingly spawn dependent. Like, I keep making slight changes that make it a little bit harder or easier. Okay. Reiki indeed. I'm so glad that I can instantly spawn this block and it's not a problem there, because I would screw myself over so hard repeatedly. No! No! I panicked after I missed the first one. Reiki! I'm not gonna lie, I did like South Park's take on the crocodile hunter where he keeps trying to shove his thumb up increasingly dangerous animals' butts. Started using it, now it's part of your vocabulary. It's good to have like a non-trivial number of non-swear swear words. I've always been a fan of Shazbot. For when you need to be ultra PG. Alright. Cripes. Yes, Cripes is another good one. I was like Davrit from Artemis Fowl. That was another fun one. Ow! I just wasn't... Oh, I screwed up twice. I was too busy thinking about swear words that aren't swear words. There was a good mystery on puzzle that was based around, you know, fake swear words at one point. Only PG stuff you know is crikey and yikes. Oh, there's plenty. Darn. You know, just end anything in Italy. Try to sound like Ned Flanders. I personally like nuts. Because of that that one classic Navy correspondence. I forget exactly what it was, but I want to say it was the United States or Britain. World War II? I'm not exactly certain. But basically, someone was sent a surrender message and wasn't quite sure what to do. And so his entire reply was nuts. That was it. Nope, not even these nuts, just nuts. Oh, rats is good too. It was a bit early for D's nuts jokes, unfortunately. Imagine just how different World War II would have turned out if they'd already been invented. Lighthouse interaction? What? Was it a lighthouse interaction? Other words, this has been discontinued. You know, there's actually a fake swear word that I have banned in my chat. It's one of like 3 words that aren't used to target spam bots. Fire truck, time to find it. I don't think you will. Mostly because of a conversation we had earlier. I don't think you're familiar enough with the material to know what word it would be. I remember when like they made it so moderators could easily see all of the words I'd banned, and Squiggles' first question is, why did you ban that one? Though the other word was potato. I banned the word potato if you misspell it. You have to spell potato correctly. I don't want Dan Quayle coming in here and chatting up and talking about potatoes. No, you have to spell it with an E. Now, to be fair to Dan Quayle, he was apparently handed a card with the spelling of potato on it that was incorrect for the spelling bee. But still. Lighthouse and naval vessel. I don't think that's it. No, that's a different one. No, this is actually like a famous thing. Yes. Nuts redirects here. Anthony Clement Nuts McAlfee. World 2, Market Garden, Nuts. To the... Oh, this was not a Navy thing. Oh, this was an Army thing. My bad. The German party delivered the following message to General, to the USA commander of the encircled town. The fortune of war is changing. Blah 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 blah. We're winning. We are going to shell the hell out of you. The German commander. According to those present, McAlfee received the German message. He read it, crumpled into a ball, and threw it into a wastepaper basket, and muttered, "Ah, nuts." The officers in the command post were trying to find suitable language for a reply when Colonel Harry Kinnard suggested McAfee's first response summed up the situation pretty well, and the others agreed. The official reply was typed and delivered to Colonel Joseph Harper, commanding some infantry, to the German delegation. It was as follows. To the German commander. Nuts! Exclamation point. The American commander. The German major appeared to be confused and asked Harper what the message means. Harper said, in plain English, go to hell. So there you go. There's the story of Nuts as it appears on Wikipedia. But yeah, I'm familiar with the Lighthouse thing. That is a classic, like, Reader's Digest story. Oh, completely epic. Like, there's an awful lot of early... there's a whole bunch of good stories of that type. There's also, like, the actual origin of Damn the Torpedoes, Full Speed Ahead. That's another pretty badass one. Turns out back then they didn't actually call the things that we think of now as torpedoes, because we think of torpedoes as a propelled bit of ordnance. For instance, Torpedo Ted. But torpedoes were just like mines back in the day, during the age of steam and ironclads. And that's where that comes from. It's like, fuck it, we just gotta go. Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. I think it's Civil War. I want to say Civil War. But could be wrong on that front. Okay. I really wish I could develop anything resembling consistency with this jump. Buy to sleep schedules, exactly. Ace Combat plot real thing. Sink the boat aft, give the boat elevation it needs. Oh, I think that they've done some things like that where they were like they managed to like sort of what's the right word for this? Like reweigh? Like basically tilt a boat by changing its ballast so they could have extra angle to fire artillery guns. That was a thing, I think, possibly during Normandy. There's a lot of creative solutions if you have people who are good enough at math. Oh, I got distracted. Good luck, Yogui, thanks. How you doing, Get Yo Pops? Give the gun. Imagine today's calling themselves mean lords and having never heard of listening to Badger or Narwhals. Yeah, it's true. Things have changed. In fact, I think, if I recall, there was a video posted to the interns list one of the years I was at Microsoft where someone had managed to get almost every monitor in a computer lab, one of the test labs, set up looping the Badger thing perfectly. It took them a while. Interns have a lot of time on their hands. Sometimes. Often. Oh, dang it. Waiting for the coffee to kick in. Good call. It's too late for caffeine now, and I'm out of it. I mean, there's some in the fridge, but it's too late for it here. Oh, I had one more question, Louis, about this game. When I was trying to get the moon in the Morsel Mankey Bridge level, which I did last time, pretty quickly, actually. I think having to do more difficult Mankey sections in the final castle rundown probably helped. I was curious, what was the moon you found most difficult? Hawalutza didn't have a good straight answer either, but it's easy to forget level names. There we go. The Gandalf. We're taking the hobbits to Isengard! Yeah. No, flash loops were serious business back in the day. This is fine. That's like the one place I can take a hit. It's not good, but it's fine. Ah, no. I missed both. Epic Sax Sky theme? Ah, okay. It's been a long time. That might have not even been the one I saw. Like I said, flash loops used to be serious business. I used to have a bunch of them. I mean, I still do, but I used to too. Do miss those days. YouTube doesn't really compare, sadly. In some ways. Oh, dang, I had like one other thing that I was going to mention. Big swear words. Oh, I've lost track. I've lost complete train of thought. It doesn't matter anymore. Like, completely and utterly have lost my train of thought. It was about those moons. I was curious about those moons. Like, I don't think any of the moons in this were particularly difficult to get except that Mankey Bridge one, and even then, once I finally understood what I was doing, it worked out pretty well. It also helped that I realized I could respawn the platforms. That might be why I found it really easy, and I found it easier in retrospect. Because I think without respawning the platforms, I would have had a very hard time getting that moon. Here I go! Okay, drop. I do feel like I'm getting slightly faster at this. Some consistency is building up over hundreds of runs. Vaguely tempted to figure out how many times I've died in this this one level. I have the power. I just need to sit down and write some SQL queries. Maybe I don't want to do that because I don't really want to write SQL queries. It actually wouldn't be that hard. I know how to do it. But I don't know if I want to. Actually, I don't even know what I'd write SQL queries. I just have to find the timestamp of the first time I died in this level. Which wouldn't be that hard. I have the power. That's why he's there, so you just can't go on autopilot. I kind of wonder what Final Fantasy II is going to have in store for me. So I'm thinking about RPGs and RPG music. I know I already hate its leveling system. That's the one thing I'm certain about Final Fantasy II, is the way you level things is by using them. You live in a world of consumable spells and everything. Like, not consumable spells, like MP and things. You use more MP, you get more MP. You attack things more, you get more attack. And, of course, things you don't use can atrophy, I believe. The worst part is, you get more HP the more you get hit. So you want to spend a lot of time getting hit in the face. Throw it up. Which is weird. Like, grinding in that game is just weird. course, the solution could be just don't grind, but we'll see how far that takes me. I didn't grind any in Final Fantasy 5 or 3. At least not on purpose. Like, I had to grind in the sense that you can't run away from battles in Final Fantasy 3, because run just makes you so weak, you will just die if you don't run on the first successful opportunity. It is absurdly weak. But that's how that ends. Almost makes the sense. It almost makes sense. I don't know if it does. I mean, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and like for Muay Thai, they do those exercises where they constantly are like breaking bits of bone, like small micro fractures in their legs to make their shins stronger and stuff. But still. I came way further on that skull platform than I was expecting. You punch something once a month, you'll still stay weak? I mean, yeah. I don't know, it's not my preferred system for leveling up. That's pretty clear here. I'm okay with like just straight stat bonuses as you level up, or modifier bonuses and things, but this sort of weird gaming you have to do there is weird. I cannot believe I've gotten stuck. Alright, one of my favorite flash loops is actually like classic demo scene song. I mean, I'll try to find and post it on Discord later. But it's got this mirrored, looped image of Maru the cat jumping into or out of a box, depending upon which side you're looking at. It's really well done. Maybe I'll have to find it and see if I can find a copy on YouTube or someplace sensible that has Ruffle going. I'm surprised. Well, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. There's not that many RPGs, but then like there's also Baldur's Gate. Dark Souls is kind of an RPGs. If you punch something every 10 minutes, you'll have insane muscle cramps but get stronger over time. That is true. But the thing you punch may not be stronger for it, is all I'm saying. And typically you want to punch soft things, so that you'll be able to train your muscles and all that. Like, punching bags are still kind of hard, but they're not walls. Of course, you gotta use the punch gloves. How do you type with boxing gloves on your hands? Inquiring minds want to know. Every time I make it past there, I count my lucky stars. Because I'm Rosalina and I have them. Okay. Down here. Gotta focus a little bit. That took time I didn't have. Oh! That was the best I've done. That was the best I've done. Go with explanations, you learn to take hits to non-critical areas. Yeah, you know, sure, we can go with that. It's kind of like learning to fall in the circus. Like, eventually you learn how to fall good. It takes time and practice, but eventually you'll learn how to do it. That was close. I also don't know what's beyond there, though. Like, there could easily be, like, another long section, or that could have just been, or there could be an ending troll, or any number of other things. Fell off. We're getting close to the time limit here. I've set myself, because I do need to go to bed. I have to finish up a work thing. I had a script that got broken with a recent deploy, and I needed to fix it up because it collects some important data and tabulates things. Oh god, you've just been nuked, are you okay? Yeah, don't worry, the atomic flame only hit non-critical parts of my body. Welcome to Fallout, where you can actually do that. Like, I think in Fallout 3, you eventually get access like a mini-nuke. One of the pieces of ordnance you can pick up in the world. Or like 8, because it's, you know, a Bethesda game. That Spike hates me. I've regressed. I want at least one more good shot at that block part. One, that's all I'm asking. Oh, that and beating it, that would also be good, but yeah. Can't ask for too much. Introduce you to Project Wingman. I never actually finished Fallout 3. I rented it, so back when, you know, people still rented video games. Okay. Slam down. Not sure what Project Wingman is. Like I said, I never finished those games. I think I own a copy of Fallout 4. I probably should play it at some point. There's a lot of games I own a copy of and I haven't played yet. Like Cyberpunk. I have a copy of Cyberpunk for Xbox One. Reward for completing the game, you unlock weapons stronger than conventional nukes. So missiles, bombs, shells, all that stuff. Oh my. That does make sense. It's the sort of thing you'd get after you beat the game. Because getting it before you beat the game would just be ridiculous. It's kind of like getting the weapon before fighting the boss in Mega Man. It's clearly made for Mega Man. It's got his face on it. You know that thing you do where you get a weapon after defeating a boss? What if that didn't happen? So what if he got the weapon before... No, he doesn't get any weapons. Yes, feel free to. Feel free to. I might still have to go find my favorite loop, though. I think I'm sacrificing some amount of consistency for just laziness at this point. You read the name and thought it was a dating simulator? Project Wingman? I can see it, I can see it. I didn't think I was going to make that. But it worked. Okay. Small kindnesses. Alright, here we go. Ha! It keeps going. And I missed the shot. I cannot believe it keeps going. Long sections indeed. No, the part that I'm scared about isn't the fact that there's that final block. No, it's the fact that there's another fucking cape there. It's like, clearly we're going to have to do another cape section after all that nonsense. Inspired by GP2. Alright, I think this is the last shot. But wherever the marbles fall here, they fall. But I am out of time for tonight. Like, it's almost 4:30. I've still got about 30 minutes of stuff I got to do, maybe, before hitting the sack. Hopefully less. I just need to put up a short PR. It's only one file, and I'm fairly confident in it, and I did that. Didn't even get the bounce off of him. Ugh. Alright, as much as I'd like to continue, I'm not going to. How's it going? I've just given up. I got demoralized when I finished a really hard part of this section, finding that there was clearly yet another large part to go. And it's 4:30, almost 4:30, so I gotta get going to sleep. So I'm just winding down, Faro. Just winding down.